Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Yachts here, and I guess it's Thursday, and the Raptors won their first game of 2025 against the Brooklyn Nets at home. I was in attendance at the game. I was very, very loud. Did the defense chants right from the jump ball, right up until the final buzzer, and people thought it was crazy at the beginning of the game, but then they saw that the Raptors had a get after it kind of defensive attitude right from the start of the game, and they were doing some good things. And well, more people started chanting with me as the game went on. And that's fantastic. Yeah, it was a fantastic game. I was so happy I went to the game yesterday. Nice to feel the vibes, the W vibes in the building once again. And well, thank goodness IQ came back. Wow. That is a whole other dimension of our team that we got to remember. And honestly, he came back with all the stuff we've been lacking during this losing streak that makes it so hard for the Raptors to win. In some ways, he's like a brain that is plugged into our computer to think. It's like Scotty said after the game in the post-game interview, IQ has IQ. And well, IQ was perfect in a lot of ways yesterday, and he helped Scotty Barnes get his best ever game ever in his NBA career. I'm going to say this right now. This number right here, number 4, had his best game ever as a Toronto Raptor, as an NBA player, as a player in the basketball ever. Florida State, high school, I don't care. This is the best game Scotty ever played in his entire life last night. 14 of 18 from the field and got a double-double with rebounds and also had some amazing blocks, some of them taken back by Curtis Blair as a goaltend. That's some bullshit. Scotty was blocking them. What a great game. It was electric in there. It was so much fun. And it was just so awesome to see the fun. I mean, Emmanuel brings you, all right, first of all, he understands how to organize the team. He's a leader. He's a floor general. Well, I've seen him do it in 2K. He's done it in the past for our team. And boy, did we need this. Just a guy to step up and be very communicative, very, very connecting everybody and telling them where to go and what to do. In some ways, he got us organized yesterday in a way we have not been organized in weeks until last night. And Scotty acknowledges that in some ways, IQ coming out there and talking so much, helping us get to our spots and everything we need to do is so helpful. And then a side bonus is IQ can be the distributor and Scotty can be the person who's getting the passes and score a bunch. So it's like, wow, Emmanuel is so key to our team. He is so key. And isn't it fun to see him just like casually hit shots in weird ways, whether it's in the lane and with people around him and he makes a little flip shot over him, or something crazy like the logo 3 that he took last night, standing on the edge of the big Raptors logo in the center court, and he bombs a 3 just around a little screen from Jakob. And boom, he hits a 3 right there. Such a luxury, such an amazing player. Somebody I was so happy to see return. And wow, it was kind of out of the blue. I was like, I know he'd been practicing. I knew that he was getting closer, but I did not think that he'd just show up on New Year's Day, the day after the worst loss in the Raptors history against Boston ever. The worst game, seriously, to this fantastic game. It was almost a 20-point win for the Raptors yesterday. Fantastic stuff. We got 7 stars of the game. We didn't have no stars for New Year's Eve. Well, I'm going to give 7 stars for the game last night, and we're going to do all the other stuff. Classic card of the day, Instagram stories. Go over and react to this fantastic Raptors win. Great first step into 2025. And, well, if Emmanuel's around, we've got a shot, is what I'm going to say right now. And they did acknowledge, having RJ with the band too. Well, we want to see all of it together. We want that full barbecue. And we had BQ last night. It was pretty damn good. But, man, I can't wait to taste that BBQ and see what it's like when all of them out there. I mean, in some ways, we were getting worried. Some people coming into my comment section on off hours saying, I told you, Raptors freak, this team sucks. It'll never be good anymore. Giovanni, yeah, talking that trash. Well, how do you feel about after watching Emmanuel Quigley last night, Giovanni? Tell me this team ain't going to be nothing or go nowhere with nothing. No, that's bullshit. Because when Emmanuel's around, he unlocks a lot. He unlocks a lot of good things for this team. And wow, what a great game. As Darko said in the game interview after the game last night, he said, Emmanuel quickly is an extension of me on the floor. And in some ways, he was just masterful. He called his own number at the right times. He found his teammates at the right times. He had a 15 assist to 1 turnover ratio last night. Wow. Wow. 15 assists, 1 turnover for our starting point guard, Emmanuel Quickly, last night. Oh, man, he was so good. Tristan's in first. Tristan Phipps, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Love Yak under the basket more. The way they were guarding Claxton and Scotty, working inside the arc more with quick back. There was a little bit of a period of time in there where our defense was letting them slip behind us, and they're getting a lot of backdoor, like kind of, dunks and stuff. That was annoying. But for the most part, Jakob had a pretty good seal on the rim protection around the basket. And Darko praised him like crazy after the game, saying that Jakob Pertl does so much for this team, and it may not be reflected in the box score. That you need to understand there's so much he's doing that does not get collected as a stat to help this team win. And he was really doing that last night in battles with, multiple big men on the other side with Claxton, Clowney, and Sharp. They have a few big guys on the other side. And in some ways we got Yak. And, there were times when Kelly was out there as a center and he was getting destroyed in different ways. Meanwhile, Darko would come back with Yak right away, and boom, it would settle things down. So, yeah, Jakob, fantastic last night. Even if he didn't have a super stat game like he has earlier this season, he really had an important game for us last night on the download. Good to see you, Tristan. All right, Nako is giving me a request right here. He wants me to scout Common Malak. Let's scout Common Malak. I kind of wanted to wait a little bit still. I know I said I'd do it in the new year. But you know what? Because it was Gerald's birthday this week, I'm going to do this for him for his birthday real quick. Now, I know y'all are going to want me to do these scouts every day coming up. Remember, the rule is I only do one a day. And honestly, I'd kind of like to do them every other day. I don't want it to be an everyday segment. So if we could do them maybe on even days right now, that'd be great. So maybe not tomorrow a scout, but maybe on Saturday, we'll have a scout on Saturday on the reaction pod for Orlando tomorrow night. Yeah, Orlando Magic. That's going to be fun. All right, let me go look at him, Nako. This is for you, my guy. Happy birthday. Never, ever seen this player before in my life. I'm going to go look at his Wikipedia page first, and then we're going to go and look at a highlight of him on YouTube. So first of all, he's from South Sudan. So this is a player that I may have seen before because of FIBA. So I need to realize that. All right, this guy is 7'2". He is currently 18 years old. He was born in September 14th in South Sudan. He's 250 pounds. That's pretty good. He's another guy coming from NBA Academy Africa, and he went to Duke. Okay, so he was a Duke center in the last year, and he's been a rebounding leader for the BAL. He was the leading rebounder for the Basketball Africa League in 2024. Very interesting. Okay. All right, let's see. Just look over his Instagram, not his Instagram, his Wikipedia real quick, just to see, like, okay, there's the stats. He was a leader on the City Oilers. This was the name of the team he played on. 13.5 rebounds per game. Looks like he only played 6 games, though. But still, that's pretty good. 13.5 rebounds over 6 games played. He started 5 of them. And he averaged about 18 points per game, too. So that's pretty good. Double average. And then the blocks per game, 2.8. So almost 3 blocks per game when he's playing in the Basketball Africa League. He's played in that league 3 years, it looks like. 3 years in a row, Basketball Africa League. All right, I'm intrigued. He looks a little bit like Luol Deng. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, Sudan, that's where they're from. All right, let me see. No. He's like a big, tall, 7'2" Luol Deng. All right, let me see what he looks like on the highlights. All right, let's see. Common Malawak. All right, let me see. Can I get season highlights? I don't want to see just one game. I want to see his season highlights. All right, let's see what we get. Nee, 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 nee. All right, there's a 4-minute clip. We'll go ahead and look at this one. All right, Gerald, happy birthday. Here's your scout on common Malawak. Malawak. If I All right, don't need no music. All right, there's the stats. He's been averaging 8.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, and about a block so far for Duke this season. Let's see. Here we go. Here he is. Let's see. There's a lob, a nice little lob pass to him. Very interesting. Not too difficult. There's a three from the corner. Okay, so he's got a little bit of a good stroke. His follow through is a little janky right now. It's got a little side action to it. He needs to get it more straightened out. But the three looks pretty good. There's another like nice lob, so he's got some nice air. He's not a big guy who's tethered to the ground, that's for sure, which is good. At 7'2", he can get up. Let's see, what is that? That's a miss. He pushes off and he gets the rebound and puts it back. That's pretty good. So he's a good trash man, able to get relentless on the boards and putting it back. He does look really good. The thing about him I like is that he's got some strength and size. He's stout. He's not like a normal young man who's very, very tall that sometimes needs more meat on his bones. It looks like he's already got a pretty good waistline and he's fit and, he's strong. That's pretty good. Yeah, look at that. That's nice long wingspan with dunking it, like not even barely having the jump. Okay, I'm watching these Duke highlights, and yeah, he's a very big lob threat. In some ways, this Duke stuff doesn't translate because there's everybody is so short compared to him in these games. We'd have to see him against NBA sized people to see if he could actually do any of this lob city stuff that they're doing like crazy on here. In fact, half of these highlights are lobs. They're just lobs to him. They're just throwing it up to him every which way. He's going up and grabbing it and throwing it down. I like it. Okay, there's one that's a little bit of a broken play, but it's still a dunk. I mean, I've seen one 3-point shot in this highlight reel, and everything else has been a dunk with him just throwing it down, which is not a bad thing, but it's also, in some ways, I want to see more of his 3-point shot just to look at the way it is. There's a little bit of a mid-range just now. It was kind of more of a putback though. But yeah, almost everything on this highlight reel is a dunk. And wow, he's got a really impressive body. Now, can he run up and down the court? That's the other thing we got to ask ourselves with a big man like that. What's his speed like? And will he be able to transition up and down the court in an NBA speed game? We'll have to see. I don't know. He's nice. I think if we're talking about our need as a big man and another center, he fits the bill. And I guess it doesn't hurt that the man's from South Sudan and he's a part of the Basketball Africa League and he's on the horizon of Masai Ujiri, I'm sure. But yeah, interesting. I'd like to see some block highlights or maybe a little bit of more diversification in this highlight reel. There's a block right there. You get what you asked for, Lex. You see it? There it is. Yeah, it wasn't bad. He was coming from behind and he caught up a lot and got that guy from behind, which is pretty cool. There's some pretty good defense there. The guy was right under the basket, was about to lay it in. He stopped him. So there's some defensive shot. Ooh, that's nasty. That was like Uncle Lex on his nephew playing basketball last week. That one block I just saw there. He really sent it back at him. Okay, all right. So I'm starting to see some of the defense. There was some smart, straight up defensive play where he just put his arms up and guarded, didn't leave his feet, and was very effective at stopping the player. So yeah, all right. Comment Malak, the first scout of 2025. Lex is done. Blind scout. I like him. I think that I would be totally happy if the Raptors were able to get him. I don't know if he's a high draft pick. I don't know how much hype he's getting. Is he going to be like this year's Klingham, where he's going to be near the top of the draft as a center prospect? We'll have to see. If we got him in the second round, that would be a steal. That would be very Coloco-like, in my opinion. So I like the guy. Thanks for bringing him to me, Naco the Nacho. Blind scouting on the Raptor Freak channel. I don't watch college. And watching Common Malak. 2 thumbs up from Lex. Draft him, Masai. If you get the chance in the right spot, get him. I'm all about more big, huge, tall African centers coming down our pipeline like Ulrich Shamshe. Yeah, this guy's a little bit more polished than Ulrich, actually. And he's got a bigger body. That's for sure, too. All right, Trevor J's here, the commissioner of fun. Trevor J, good morning to you, Trevor. We're reacting to a fantastic Raptors win to start the new year right. Scotiabank Arena was rocking. It was so much fun. And I was trying to be as loud as I could. Trevor's saying every day is a new beginning. Take a deep breath, smile, and begin again. That's right, Raptors. God woke you up today for a reason. Trust in his plan. His timing is perfect and he will make a way. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, like the last couple games for Scotty have been frustrating. They've lost. They had really, really bad games, but Scotty showed more of what he's been doing in the last few games in a winning, successful way last night. The 14 of 18 shooting is phenomenal. And it really is because he doesn't have to work so hard for making his own shot because Emmanuel's around, bouncing off of him. It's so, so good. Scotty Barnes is my number one star of the game. 38 minutes, 14 of 18 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. In fact, that one shot was not supposed to be a shot. It was supposed to be a lob, and he threw the ball through the basket. Like, how often does that happen? That happened for Steph Curry once. But now it's happened for a guy, Scotty. What is that? That's a sign of something that he threw a lob and it went through. Now, some people whine and complain it should be basketball interference or something like that. Whatever. The NBA, I want to say this right now. The NBA used to be fun. The NBA used to be about dunks and crazy half-court shots and fun blocks and all kinds of fun stuff. In some ways, the fun of the NBA has been crushed out of it by the referees not making the fun calls on some of these plays. And whether it's like Scotty Barnes getting a good block that they call a goaltend and it just rains our parade. I'm like, Curtis Blair, come on, man. This is what NBA action was fantastic when you allowed for crazy emphatic blocks and not going and saying, oh, that's a goaltend. That's bullshit. Don't be a Grinch. Don't be a Scrooge. And let the big, awesome plays in the NBA happen again, like the fast breaks, the dunks, the three-point half-court shots. That kind of stuff is fun. And when Scotty hits an alley-oop with a 3 instead, that's hilarious. That's one of those kind of plays. When Chris Boucher lofts a crazy Hail Mary 3 2 games in a row now, and he makes it all of a sudden, that's a amazing kind of play too. So we want to embrace those kind of things because those are extraordinary things that NBA players can do that we can't do as human beings that are not NBA players. So it's like, can we embrace why NBA entertainment and action was fantastic in the 80s and 90s by getting the highlight reel back with the really cool highlights and embracing and encouraging NBA players to do that kind of stuff instead of penalizing them for it by the referees making it their own show? That's all my little rant for a second there. I felt like saying it. 3 for 4 from 3 for Scotty. He made both his free throws, 13 rebounds, all of them defensive rebounds. That's amazing. Like, in some ways, he was really taken to heart. I'm not giving the Brooklyn Nets any second chance shots. 13 defensive rebounds for Scott. 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He should have had more blocks than that, honestly. Only 3 turnovers, a plus 14, 33 points, and 38 minutes. I'm telling you, I take this as the best game this guy ever played, number 4. The best game he's ever played in the NBA happened last night, and he shot so good, 14 to 18. Some of that was just the beautiful setups of Emmanuel Quickly. I mean, he's looking up courts. He sees Scotty's got mouse in the house, and Emmanuel's shooting that ball to him in the perfect way for him to catch it and just lay it in real easy, not be bothered. I love that so much. Emmanuel is so gifted. That alley-oop lob to Scotty was just so laissez-faire, like tossed. He just kind of tossed it. And if you see that clip, look at Emmanuel when he throws that lob to Scotty for the alley-oop. He's just like so like I am confident. I know what I'm doing, and I'm just going to do this. And it's a perfect pass, and Scotty throws it down, coming down the end line. So good, so good. Number 1 star, Scotty. You're my hero, man. And I kept yelling at him during the game. Let's say, Scotty, get 30. Scotty, get 30. And he listened to me, and he went and got 30. I was like, yes, Scott, get 30. Be aggressive and rise up to become the great NBA scorer that you have the potential to become, man. This is the thing. They're not going to hand you no all-star this year. Our record is horrible. You have to go out there and wow them. You need more games like you did last night. Last night is a good step in the right direction. The other thing I noticed after the game is that the NBA proper has put out a whole clip of Scotty's performance last night on their channel saying this is Scotty Barnes' 33-point performance last night against Brooklyn. And it's an awesome clip because you see every basket that he scored and the diversity of it and the amazing things he did. This is perfect You put that on blast, NBA proper, not NBA Canada, and show the Americans, the other people in the NBA, other than our team up here, exactly who Scotty Barnes is. Y'all have dropped the ball on marketing him for his first 4 years of his career. And now y'all need to pick it up and start showing him. Because seriously, it's never done y'all a service to not promote your whole entire 30 teams in your league. You downplay ones, well, you denigrate your product. You denigrate parts of your product. And no wonder your league looks so stupid and crappy because you denigrate your own product on your own shows. Well, don't do that anymore. Let the excellence shine for every team, even a lowly 8-win Raptors team. And putting Scotty on blast with that highlight reel from last night, that's going to get him all-star votes. So, Scott, you need to continue these kind of performances. And if IQ's here again and he's going to help you, well, let's see some more of this. It's so entertaining to watch. It was such a joy to be in the arena last night and witness it in person. Oh my gosh, it was so good. My second star of the game is Emmanuel. Emmanuel was fantastic. He was electric. Did this man just miss 2 months of action? Because it doesn't seem like it to me. That man seemed like he was ready to go. And Darko said it after the game. You know, Emmanuel's injury has not limited him from doing cardio. And this whole time, he's been working his ass off to stay in game shape. And that's part of it. Also, they've been practicing him for a week or two. And he has actually been ramping up on secret to be able to come back and do this. And even before the game, they said he's going to be on a minutes restriction. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to put Emmanuel on a minutes restriction. Well, this is what it looks like for him. 32 minutes. I was like, wait, that's not really a minutes restriction, Darko. Putting Emmanuel out there for 32 minutes in his first game back in 2 months. You say, well, this is Emmanuel. He's different than everyone else. This is the minutes restriction for him. And Darko's coy about it. He's like, I'll just say we are very close to our target time for him to play this time. I won't tell you what it is, though. Darko, oh, you. It's like, what is it, 30 minutes that you wanted him to play? And he played 32. It's so good. But Emmanuel's awesome, man. 7 of 16, 3 of 7 from 3. Those 3-pointers from him were just so nice. Breath of fresh air, wasn't it? To see Emmanuel just do it and then see the Skipley down the court. Oh my gosh, the Skipley. He did all the different celebrations. He did the Skipley. He did the too small. He did the freeze. He did all of them. He was so amazing. And he had a great 3-point play also down near the end of the court that I was sitting where he got an and-1. He was so good. Now, when he started the game, he was off. He shot like crazy early and missed everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, Emmanuel, you're going to shoot so much and just miss everything? But he shot himself into the game and got on track. And it was fantastic. It was a beautiful thing to see. I mean, 7 of 16, that's partly because he was shooting so much in the beginning and missing so much. But as the game went on, he made more and more of his shots. 4 for 4 at the free throw line, very professional. 4 rebounds, 15 assists, 1 turnover. 15 assists, 1 turnover. That's a point guard. That is a point guard. And boy, was he playing point guard. It was so awesome. Scotty, you know, they kept talking to him after the game about, well, Scotty, since you've been doing point guard while Manuel's out, do you think that'll really benefit you? And he's like, Scotty's like, well, did you just answer your question? Come on, man. These are dumb questions. Why do you ask these dumb questions, Adam Lascarius or whoever that is? You say, like, look, of course. What? Duh. If he's going to have to play point guard, of course he's going to become a better point guard because Emmanuel's not there for a second. But it's a lot less pressure on Scott. You know, some of the criticism is Scott dribbling too much or doing too much stuff and ball hogging and not really distributing, maybe passing into crowds because he did that again last night at times. A couple of those turnovers that Scotty had. One was he tried to force the ball to Jakob in the post with 3 Brooklyn Nets defenders around him. It's like, throw it away from the defense, Scott, and stop setting up our guys to turn the ball over is what I'm saying. But Emmanuel, 15 assists, 1 turnover. Oh, so good. 21 points for him, a plus 23 in 32 minutes. Just a breath of fresh air. Just a badass. Just an impact player. Just somebody that, man, in his interview afterwards, he was so down to earth. And Monique noted this after the game that, you know, Emmanuel quickly had one of his best interviews as a player after the game because he just gave it up all to God once again, like he always does. And he said that, you know, when you can't play, like I haven't been able to, you get more grateful for being able to play when you can. This dude's just so grounded. He's just really got the right head on his shoulders. And the way he talked about being a leader for this team and kind of his vision and like, you know what, he's such a badass. He came in and he said, this is not who we've been supposed to be like recently in the losing. And I haven't been playing, but I'll tell you right now, we're going to win way more now that I'm back, is basically what Emmanuel quickly said after the game last night. So, dude, you're awesome. You're a badass. You're a winner, and you're going to bring our team back up into winning ways again after a drudgery of a muckety muck of the end of 2024. This is what's happening right now. Get with the picture. That's right. Third star of the game for me is the crazy shooting Grady Dick. Grady was awesome. And in some ways, as much as Scott benefited from Emmanuel quickly coming back, so did Grady Dick. So did Grady Dick. In some ways, there were some things that Grady got to do last night that he had not been able to do for a while so easily. And some of that is just getting good open threes with nobody near him where he can actually really shoot that shot and make it. In some ways, we've failed as a team in the last 2 months of IQ being out at getting Grady good open three-point shots away from the defense of the other team. And part of it is that Emmanuel is such a dynamic player that he can go and score for himself, that they have to really respect him and like collapse the defense around him when he gets in the lane. So what happens? Emmanuel's an expert passer. He gets that ball floated out to Grady, and he's specifically looking for Grady. Grady thrived with the point guard of IQ out there, looking for him, setting him up with really money three-point shots in different ways, and boom goes the dynamite. You got Grady Dick shooting 9 for 17, 4 of 8 from 3, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals for Grady. He had 4 at one point, but I guess they took one away because they had a record graphic on the board last night in the middle of the game saying that Grady broke his record for steals with 4. I guess they took one away because it says 3 on the box score now. A plus 22 with 22 points in 37 minutes. Grady Dick, 50% three-point shooting, are IQ's presence right there. And him just finding him, drawing attention. Scotty gets a lot of attention drawn off of him because Emmanuel's around. Emmanuel gets a rare respect. And, well, the other guys have to come off of other people to watch out for Emmanuel and what he's doing and vice versa. And then RJ comes back. Boom. He's another person they got to worry about. They all help each other get more open shots and better stuff. They just have to read the defense and take what is presented to them. And Scotty's understanding that more and more, and he's doing a better and better job. So, yeah, Grady Dick, number 3 star. Number 4 star, I'm going to give it to Baji. Baji got a lot of credit last night from his teammates for his defensive stuff on tough guards like Cameron Johnson killed us in the first game against the Nets about a month ago. And, well, Abaji took it upon himself to slow him down a bit better, and he did. He did a good job. Oshai is so good at finishing in transition like a locomotive out of control down the tracks. He just gets by guys. He sidesteps them, and then he lays the ball in for a nice, easy, high-percentage layup. He's such a good finisher going towards the basket. Him and Chris are 2 of the best in the league, honestly. And Abaji was on fire in that way. 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He got those open threes. And I'm telling you, when the pass comes to our three-point shooters in the right rhythm and they catch it the right way where they have the best time to shoot it before the defense comes back at them, that's the best. Like, that's the art of being a point guard. You got to pass it to them to their chest. Stop throwing it down near their knees and their ankles so they have to dig it up and to spend a split second trying to get up into their shooting frame. No, you pass it to them perfectly where they catch it exactly where they want it, and they fire immediately, and the defense doesn't catch up, and they get a good shot. And that's the stuff that happened with Grady and Oshai last night, that they were getting passes to the places in rhythm to where they will be successful making the three-point shots. And Obaji, 2 for 2 from 3, that's no joke. That's Emmanuel Quickly being back out there. 2 for 2 at the free throw line also. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a plus 23 with 14 points. Oshai Baji. I really, really like how all of the Raptors starters got double digits last night. That we didn't have any dead notes on the piano. That all of them got double digits. And we even got Jacoby to come off the bench and get us double digits off the bench also. My next star of the game is the 5th starter, Jakob Poeltl. We talked about Jakob already. and the importance that he brings for maintaining defensive integrity and also rebounding things that we need done. Yak was 6 of 10, 4 offensive rebounds, 9 rebounds altogether, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a plus 17 with 12 points. Not a huge fancy game, not a 30-point game with 20 rebounds like he's done earlier this season. No, just an average kind of just doing what he needs to do in each moment, but not really needing the ball a whole lot. If we needed something real quick, he'd flip up a little hook shot or something like that. We're in that point in the shot clock or something like that. Yeah, he was there as an outlet. But for the most part, Jakob's role was really more with defense and rebounding and not as much the hub for the offense with IQ back. That was very interesting to me. And of course, Yak is out there causing a lot of stuff for with screens and stuff. There was a very interesting challenge call that involved Jakob in a screen, and Darko called it. And I was like, man, this is early in the game. I don't know if you need to get this challenge this early. And in some ways, we're winning. Once again, I question the logic, like Jack Armstrong. Why would you call the challenge right then? But he did, and he was successful. It was a very close one. Curtis Blair could have called that for the Nets because honestly, it was a weird thing. But they noticed that Day'Ron Sharpe had pushed Jakob Poeltl into the screen person getting screened. And that's why there was extra contact with him. It's not like Jakob stuck out his own leg a little bit further just to trip up D'Angelo Russell or whoever it was trying to run around him. No, he was pushed by Day'Ron Sharpe, and that's why he went into the other Nets player. But that was a proper challenge call. The Raptors won that challenge call, and they continued to have their challenge later in the game, and they used it again. Yeah. So there was some good challenge calls last night. The ref crew was pretty good last night. I was very happy with the ref crew. They let some stuff slide, and they weren't like trying to control us or stop us from getting out and running or doing some of the things that we do well. And I appreciate that. They will really try to hold you down or maintain, like not allow you to get fast break points by holding the ball before they let you inbound it, by doing all kinds of stuff. And there was a little bit of that, but for the most part, the referees let the Raptors play their style, and they were victorious because of it. And that is important. The referees do need to let us out of our cage. If they don't, well, it's harder for us to win. That's for sure. The 6-star, because I'm doing 6 stars, is Jacoby Walter off the bench. Rookie is just so unflappable. Rookie is somebody I depend on and I believe in. Rookie is someone that I had no idea we would be able to get this kind of contribution from at this point in his career already right now. Jacoby Walter, you are a pro in the NBA. You are a bona fide pro. You don't act like a rookie. You do stuff in such a smart, calculated way. In some ways, having you on a team with Emmanuel Quickley is smart because, man, he's going to teach you stuff just like all those other guys are teaching you. Davion, Jamal Shed, Kelly Olynyk, Garrett Temple. All these guys are teaching you things, man. And I can tell Jacoby Walter was badass. 18 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 points in 18 minutes. Just really great to get a double-digit scorer off the bench. And Jacoby's just really steady. He's solid. He's fundamentally good. And in some ways, he's just doing basketball the right way. And in some ways, I love players like that. Like if there's a lot of young knuckleheads coming in the league all the time that are not prepared or play the game right fundamentally and all this kind of stuff, Jacoby Walter is not one of them. No, he's not. He plays that game exactly right. And he has got his stuff down. That's hard work. Is doing it the right way and learning it the right way has gotten you to this point, Jacoby Walter. You keep going, man. I'm so happy you're on our team. And, man, he's looking more and more like a steal and a gem at number 19 in the 2024 draft this year in the NBA draft, man. I'm telling you, he's such a steal. My 7-star is Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk was perfect from the field last night. 3 of 3 from the field. He hit 1 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 7 points, a +1 in 14 minutes. Understated. In some ways, he did get blown by in some defensive places and got messed up, but really smart stuff also by Kelly. There was some really, really interesting scrappy plays that he did last night that were worthwhile, and they're very fruitful as far as just disruption for the other team. Of course, Kelly's going to do his goofy little weird, I'm going to step this way in the lane, and then make some weird layup or over my back this way, like throwing it. Yeah, he does that stuff all the time. And I love, like, when you see Kelly make a 3 like he did last night, you're just like, yeah, we need more threes. So this is part of the reason why we need Kelly Olynyk, is because he's a center that will hit some threes as our center off the bench. And I was very proud of him and the little bit of time he was out there. So there's your 7 stars of the game. The starters plus Jacoby Walter and Kelly Olynyk. The rest of the team was okay. They didn't play a whole lot. Jamal Shed did get to play some. 3 for 7, 0 for 3 from 3. 1 for 3 at the free throw line. 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 7 points. Just not, Jamal was fine. In some ways, Jamal is the one rookie other than Jacoby that is getting rotation minutes as we're healthy. And, it may be that when RJ's back, Jamal's not getting those minutes. Who knows? But he was out there and he belongs with our main starters in rotation because he doesn't stick out as a mistake or person causing problems. He's very intense. He's got a winning mentality. He's a very smart player and he's doing good things, but he's still a rookie. He's still got a learning curve. And in some ways, we saw a little bit of that last night in the game. Chris Boucher only out there for 5 minutes, 1 for 2. He hit another crazy lofty 3 that was just out of the blue. And it's like he had somebody guarding him and he's off balance. He's falling back with his big poofy hair last night. And boom, he hits a 3 just out of the blue. It's crazy. Just like his halftime one from a couple of games ago also, which is 1 rebound, 3 points for Chris. He just came out there for a quick spot, and that's it. Though Jay Rooks and Ulrich came in for the garbage minute at the end of the game. None of them scored. Really just out there running up and down the court for 1 minute. But it was nice to see Jonathan Mobo keep his game, every single game of this year he's played in, streak intact. In some ways, he's in danger to lose this. Partly, if there's not a route or something like that, he may not get in the game after all because it's competitive right in the end. Darko, you may want to just play Jonathan every game just for the hell of it because, man, not many players in this league are getting all 82 games in these days. And Jonathan's doing it so far, this far into the season. I think you may need to just insert him for like 1 or 2 minutes every single game, maybe in the middle, just to be safe, because I'd like to see him get this all the way through the whole season. And he kind of deserves it in some ways. So just 1 minute for Jonathan, no stats. Same with Shamshay. Shamshay got a foul. That's all he got. Davion Mitchell out there for just 6 minutes. He took 1 3-pointer and missed it. 1 rebound, 1 assist. 4 fouls with Davion. Davion came out there and got fouls left and right. Curtis Blair and Matt Boland and them were not into the way Davion Mitchell plays defense. And they were calling fouls on him left and right away when he came out there. I mean, he was out there for 6 minutes. He got 4 fouls. I love Davion, though, man. He is such a good defender. And sometimes the refs just don't like his style. They're going to put him in the doghouse, so to speak, with that. Yeah. There's all the players that played for the Raptors last night. Fantastic effort. The rotation, I liked it. I liked the rotation for the most part. Bruce Brown sitting out because of back-to-back, and he played the game in Boston, didn't play in this one. And we were just really missing RJ other than that. Really, that was pretty much our whole team there. It's fantastic stuff. So good. So good. Trevor saying, Scotty played amazing game. IQ put his point guard skills on display as a true floor general. Floor general is the right job description for Emmanuel Quickly. He is so organizing. Not is he organizing the offense and making us look real good with amazing plays and us making baskets easier because he's setting everybody up. But on the other end of the floor, he's talking about defensive assignments and getting guys organized over there too. So some of the confusion and some of the unraveling that the Raptors have had in the really bad games near the end of this 11-game losing streak they just ended were partly from disorganization. And the fact that Emmanuel, just as one guy, can come back out there and just talk to everybody and get guys a little bit more sorted is a huge bonus and a plus. So he's a huge game changer, not just offensively, but also in directing the guys on what they need to be doing on defense to help with everything. And man, it's such a breath of fresh air to have Quickly back in the lineup, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Nako's saying that IQ, Scotty, and Grady look nice. IQ just gives a plus up for Scotty and Grady in their offensive games, and things are a little bit easier for them as far as getting things done. We love the diversity of Scotty's game last night. A lot of mid-range turnaround, and those shots are money. And who does he look like when he does those shots? Seriously, ask yourself, who does he look like from the Raptors history in the year of 2019 when Scotty uses his big, huge body and his combination of size and speed against any defender down low and he's backing him down. He's turning around and he's shooting that turnaround shot. Who does he look like? Yeah, you know who he looks like. The Claw. Because that's the thing, man. There's some of that stuff is unstoppable. And nobody can stop those shots. And man, he's so good. And I love the lobs from Emmanuel to Scotty with those really easy passes in transition, the mouse in the house recognition, and getting in the ball correctly. As Scotty said, that's one of the things that is awesome about IQ. He has the IQ to see that play, and he has the skills to make it happen and actually get converted, because that's a hard pass to make from half court up over defenders. And it's kind of like in football. You got to throw the ball with a pocket away from the secondary so that your wide receiver can catch it. And there's a lot of that involved in the way Emmanuel was tossing that ball to not just Scotty, but Kelly Olynyk also caught a pass like that from Emmanuel. And it was a very easy layup when he was behind the defense because they threw it over him, just like in a football game. Just like in a football game. It's so good. Trevor's saying we got a taste of what could be when everyone is back and healthy. It will be special. I mean, we've been saying this like a broken record since the beginning of the season, since Emmanuel's been pretty much out. We won't know who we are without the whole barbecue available. And well, that Q is a very important ingredient in the barbecue because it gives you mesquite. Yeah, it gives you mesquite. And that's what I feel like Emmanuel did to us. He mesquited us. And he made us a little bit better all around with the bonuses and helping our guys be better players. Man, he's just that uptick for everybody. I love what he says message is. After the game, he said, we love each other and we want each other to do well. That's why we're going to be badasses, because we celebrate each other's victories and we're trying to help each other have those victories. And that is so evident. That's just not talking the talk from Emmanuel Quickly. You saw it on the walk and the way he played last night, how he increased Scotty Barnes' game, Grady Dick's game, and others on the team last night. And that's the badass thing. When they are playing for each other and they plan to help each other and get each other to look better, that's the beautiful, the bellissimo of a basketball game. That's what the game is about, being a team and playing team ways. And well, Emmanuel gets that. And he's really, really good about that. He's really, really good about that. Trevor's saying when RJ comes back, who goes to the bench? Abaji. It's that simple. I mean, we knew the starting lineup. We said it this summer. We talked about it a lot. What is our flavor of barbecue yak dick? What is it? What is our flavor of barbecue yak dick? Well, it's barbecue yak dick. We got BBQ, Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly. We got the big yak. He's got to start, obviously. And then Grady. That was the whole kind of like debate this summer. It's like, who's going to be the fifth starter other than barbecue and yak? Well, Grady was the front runner and the favorite. And now, I mean, obviously, after a game like last night, the synergy, the way Grady plays, he totally deserves to be the fifth starter for the Raptors. Abaji's been yeoman's work at the starting lineup as the one of the starters, but let's not get it twisted. In some ways, he will be very, very good off the bench, coming off the bench with that very defensive-minded unit with Davion Mitchell and Jamal Shead. So it's like, you know, I think that in some ways the bump goes, RJ starts, Abaji goes to the bench, and the bench is like Davion, Jacoby, Oshai, Chris Boucher, and Kelly Olynyk. And then the rookies are in like deep reserve to come in for specialty reasons or something like that. Like Mobo and Shed may not get to play a whole lot after RJ comes back. It may be contingent on who is hurt and who's not available. Then you need that depth chart to slide in a little bit more. You know, Jamal Shed getting to play right now, but he may not get to play very much when RJ comes back. Let's just put it that way. So I say Abaji goes to the bench, and then maybe Jamal's out of the rotation. It could be that way because Davion is more likely to stay in the rotation. Now, if Davion gets in foul trouble, though, there you go. You got a second point guard to come in and do the similar stuff to Mitchell. And, that's great to have that kind of depth at that position just in case. I mean, Davion did get 4 fouls in like 6 minutes last night. So maybe Jamal Shed needs to be ready just in case. He may not be in the rotation for that night. Darko may tell him, yeah, I don't know if we'll get you in. We'll see what we can do. But then Davion gets in foul trouble. Jamal, get in the game. Get in the game. It could be like that kind of in some ways. Derps is here. Good to see Derps. It's going to be interesting to see how the Raptors look versus Orlando, even with Franz and Paulo out. And Mo, yeah. Yeah, both the Wagners are out, and so is Paulo Banchero. But the thing is about Orlando, they haven't really missed a beat with their winning. They've still been winning without their main players, which is kind of scary. But we'll have to see. In some ways, they may be ripe for the picking, and this could very well be a 2-game winning streak after Friday's game, because I think we can beat Orlando, especially because we're going to be at home, and also because of these injuries. This is a little bit of a dull teeth kind of Orlando Magic team without Franz and Paulo. Those are the two best players. And we have a shot. We have a real shot to build something into a something from this last game last night with the game on Friday. I'll do the scout on them tonight, and I'll have the information for the preview tomorrow morning. I have not looked at them directly yet, but I do know that those are players that are out for them right now. And this is not totally full strength Orlando. So we'll have to see. It'll be fun. It's going to be a fun game. Hopefully we can beat them on Friday night. I feel like we got a good chance. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan Mo. She was in the house last night, bringing those W vibes, just like Adriana and I were. And man, we brought it right, didn't we, Mo? Oh my gosh, how sweet it is to feel a W in the first day of 2025 in the Scotiabank Arena. Oh my gosh, that was so nice. The building was rocking. The vibes were off the charts. I saw before the game Garrett Temple with his children and his wife in the corner of the court. Just it's such a beautiful family picture. And the Raptor was palling around with Garrett Jr. and messing around with him like for a good 5 minutes. The Raptor was really spending some extra time. And then Emmanuel Quickly's family came down, and I think his niece got to play with the Raptor also before the game too. It's just such a fun building last night. Lots of stuff. You see AJ Lawson at the end of the bench wearing a white T-shirt and just soaking it in. And, you can read him. If you look at AJ Lawson's face right now, he's just in heaven because he's playing for his childhood team, the team that he grew up in the city for. And, man, he's on the Raptors right now. And he's sitting in the Scotiabank Arena on our bench, let alone in a white T-shirt and not dressed to play. But, I mean, I was looking down there. And I was like, he just looks like he's so happy. AJ Lawson just beaming and just soaking it all in. And, yeah, man, I love that for a guy like AJ, being able to play for Toronto and be on our team and out there like that. Most saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. Much needed win on New Year's Day. I continue to smile about IQ's return. His post-game interview was the best with Kayla, too. Team effort, IQ, Scotty, Oshai, everyone, crowd was pumped. Yeah, we were. I told myself, if I'm going to go down there, Mo, I'm going to bring the energy to do my part to help the Raptors win. And my part is defense. Defense. And I don't care if nobody else is doing it. Lex is down there in the 100 section yelling it, and people are looking back at me. They're like, what is this guy doing? Why is he doing this? I did it relentlessly like I always do, and I wish more Raptors fans and Raptors freaks would do it like me. You go into the games, you're going to be in the arena. Let's be the sixth man, and let's do defense chants every single time the opponent has the ball in their hands. Every single time. And y'all, it matters. It really does. I can tell we're feeding them energy. And in some ways, we yell that defense. Maybe there's just a little bit of extra oomph to get that ball out from their hands and get it disheveled. And boom, all of a sudden, Grady Dick's running down the court getting a layup. That's what I'm saying, y'all. So believe in your own power as fans in the arena and understand that we can have a true impact to help them with their energy by feeding them energy in the right way. Part of the problem this last month is that Raptors fans get shaky. They get in their heads. They get feeling like the record. They get feeling like the losing streak. And they're like, I don't know. No, be confident. Come there and show up confidently. And I don't care if this team is 8-26, like my birthday, August the 26th. I don't care. This team is badass, and they can do more in certain situations than you'd be surprised as far as being such a shitty team with a record and still rising up and winning. And we can help get them over the hump in the arena as fans. So if you are going to games for the rest of the season, come correct and be like Lex and chant that defense chant every single time the visitor has the ball. Don't take a single break off. And if that organ guy ain't playing it upstairs, if he ain't playing Car Wash, if he ain't playing the little songs he's got, you make him play those songs. Because if he hears you and you're chanting defense and he's not doing anything for that possession, he'll get shamed to do it. I'm just saying. So get those defense chants out there because they matter. They matter. And I went there last night. I showed that it mattered because the Raptors got off to a good defensive start with holding them off and playing with great energy on the defensive end right from the start of the game, not flat. And that's how we can start right then and there helping them. That's what I'm saying. So please be like Lex if you go to the game. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Most saying good seats, Lex and Adriana. Hope this win means good things, good vibes. Only locker room was happy, good words, IQ. I love it. The chain reappeared. We saw the chain back, and it was awesome. Emmanuel wearing a towel over his head, just like he was a sheik, just like he was like a powerful man from the Middle East with a oil reserve or something like that. And they put the chain around him, and it was like, oh, it was like he was anointed. It was so awesome. And of course, Darko's going to drop an F-bomb in the little clip that Open Gym puts out. He's like, we fucking won. It's like, I was like, yes, Darko is a real one because he's dropping F-bombs just like the Raptor Freak would on his 9:30 stream every morning. Yeah, I love that, those Open Gym really quick turnaround clips that you see. And of course, we're going to see the chain reappear. And of course, our guy quickly got it last night for his victorious return to our lineup and leading us to victory. Oh, it was such good vibes, and I love him. His little towel over his head with his chain around him. He just looked like so pimpish. He just looked like a badass, man. You look like such a badass after the game, Emmanuel, getting your chain. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. So cool. Yeah, Mo, I tried to see you where you're sitting over there in 116A. I think I saw you over there. We were very close to Thuzy. Thuzy was our usher, and it was cool to talk to him and dap him. I went around and saw my old people that I used to work with, like Sadie, Miss Sadie upstairs. Miss Sadie, I want to give you condolences for the passing of your daughter. It's so sad that her daughter passed in December. But, man, so nice to see Sadie, seniority number 3 in food and beverage at Scotiabank Arena, one of my close friends from a long, long time ago. Man, it's just really good to be back in the building and see the old faces and the people that I love that I used to work with down at that building, man. I just love that building so much. That's my happy place. That's for sure. Trevor's saying, watching Tyrese Maxey and quickly, they have similar styles shooting the ball and driving the lane. They are so fast. Yeah, I really like his decision making. In some ways, the biggest thing with Emmanuel is knowing when to call his number 5 and when to call numbers like 1 or 4. And, well, he was looking for them and getting into them in the right kind of distribution and kind of, that's the tough thing with the point guard is, you have options. You have the option to call yourself or to call your teammates. And knowing the balance, the right balance for that and when to go on which one, it really takes a lot of discipline and a lot of awareness to what is going on in the court in that particular split second. And, man, Emmanuel's so good at decision-making. He really was flawless. And a 15 assist, 1 turnover game is emblematic of this. So flawless to this. I mean, if he was doing the wrong decisions, he would have had more than one turnover, right? He would have had way more than one turnover, probably. Yeah. Let's see. G saying Scotty was a point forward and it looked beautiful. I wouldn't even characterize what he did last night as point forward. Once again, Raptors graphics department for TSN, when you put the starting lineup out there, put Scotty at the 4. He's not the 3. You got it almost right. You had Emmanuel point guard, Grady Dick at shooting guard, but you flipped him and Abaji. Abaji's a small forward, and Scotty is the power forward. Let's not get this twisted. Whoever's second on deck to help Jakob with the big, strong stuff around the basket, it's Barnes. So please understand this guy is a power forward, and we got to stop mischaracterizing his position because what happens is, TSN, is you give Raptors fan nation ideas about what Scotty should be on a court just from a graphic that shows the starting lineup at the beginning of the game. It's silly. In some ways, Scotty is no position. He's just him. He's a soldier, as Darko put it last night. He's a soldier out there fighting our cause and putting in that grunt work. And honestly, he's exactly right. This is the thing. Scotty's so weird. Most NBA players are selfish and egomaniacs, and they want everything just for themselves. In fact, they will shoot like Javon Freeman Liberty before they let anybody else shoot if it will help them. It's like, yeah, they will definitely feed themselves. But Scotty is so giving. It's almost like you got to tell him to give for himself and be aggressive for himself. And having Emmanuel quickly out there gifting it to him helps him to be more for himself. The other thing about Scotty is he's not just trying to collect the stats that show up on the box score. He's out there busting his ass on defense and doing all kinds of really crazy energy work to help us on all kinds of ways. And I love that. He's doing dirty work. He's doing shit like he's doing Magic Johnson stuff on the court and Kurt Rambis stuff. That's the crazy thing. Like, understand what I just said. He's doing Magic Johnson stuff on the court and Kurt Rambis stuff. And that's a very special player that is so multi-talented and able to do anything on the court. And he is. He's out there doing everything on the court. Literally, literally everything on the court. He's doing everything. Everything out there. I wouldn't even call him a point forward. I'd just say that man, I slot him at the 4, at the power forward, but he can do anything at power forward. Just like Magic Johnson when he returned from retirement, he was the power forward at that point in his career. He was starting at the 4, and he was still playing point guard from the 4 at times. It just depended on the turn down the court, whether it was his turn or IQ's turn to hold the ball a little bit. Yeah, Carlos saying IQ is the key that unlocks this team. I really do believe that's true at this point, Carlo. I really, really do. The evidence was there from last night. And, man, he's such a game changer he unlocks some of our players to make them so much better. I mean, the investment in Emmanuel, I mean, in some ways you could say this, like Emmanuel missing this time, seeing how he struggled and seeing the difference with him in the lineup and how this happened like this, it really makes you realize he is worth that money that we're paying him for our contract. It really does. And I just hope, knock on wood, that this man stays as healthy as possible for the rest of the year. Because if he does, we could really turn around things a lot of different ways for our season this year. In some ways, Emmanuel ain't trying to tank for no Cooper Flag. Seriously. That man probably does want to get the play-in. And if anybody on this team could help will us to the play-in by one single person, is Emmanuel Quickly. At least from what I saw last night. It's going to be tough. There's still a lot of good teams in this league that we're going to have to play, like Orlando and Milwaukee and New York in the next couple games. But we have more of a fighting chance with Emmanuel in the lineup. And also remember, the Raptors were loaded with their tough part of their schedule at the beginning of the season. And 2025 may be very kind to us as far as getting more W's for the end of the season. Now, tank enthusiasts may be upset and going crazy about it. But, man, I want the Raptors to do what they naturally would do with winning, no matter what, with no manipulation. And that means no losing on purpose just to get a higher draft pick. That's ridiculous. We know the ping pong balls determine where we pick anyway. So we might as well play to our true fullest potential and try and win as much as possible, even if that doesn't mean we get the highest percentage odds for the number 1 pick. Seriously, Raptors fans, we got to understand what our priorities are, and losing on purpose ain't one of them. Is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, it ain't like that. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Most saying I'm amazed at how Oshai was. Grady also. These guys were just active, getting after it. And the success begets success. The confidence begets confidence. And Emmanuel came in with a ball of confidence, and woo, it just overran our other guys. And boy, did they look better. They all looked better. It was crazy. Trevor's saying Grady reached 1,000 points as a Raptor. This is fantastic. He's the 7th fastest in Raptors history out of all of our players ever to get to 1,000 points. And that's a list with people like Vince Carter, Kawhi Leonard. There's a lot of good players that got to 1,000 faster than him, Scotty Barnes. But Grady is in the top 10. It's the quickest to get to 1,000 points. You think about it, man. He only played half a season last year, and he played this year. So he's got 1,000 points in basically a season of play. Basically 1,000 points. Congratulations on your milestone, Grady Dick. Let's go get 2,000. That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah. And most saying IQ is our Tyrese Maxey. No, IQ is our IQ. In some ways, those guys are good friends, the Kentucky point guards that play together. But in some ways also, let's not insult our guy Quickly. In some ways, yes, there are a lot of parallels, and they do look alike. But Emmanuel Quickly is 1-of-1. And in some ways, he's a little bit different than Maxey. In some ways, there may be some hidden strengths that Quickly has over Maxey that we may discover more and more as he's healthy and playing more. I don't want to say that Emmanuel Quickly is worse than Tyrese Maxey. I don't know. He could be better than Maxey in the end. Seriously, Maxey's an amazing player, and he gets a lot of points for himself. But what if Emmanuel Quickly is a better point guard than Maxey, and he gets more assists like he did last night, with balancing with the great points and stuff like that? That's one thing you got to wonder about is can it Quickly, they're not exactly the same, but I get the comparison. It's real easy to make. Most saying, way to go, Scotty. I'm so proud of him, man. I was just beaming with pride by the end of the game, Scott. And I don't know if you saw us over there in the corner. I was yelling the whole game. And I was saying, Scotty, get 30. And he did. He went and got 30. I was so happy. You not have very many 30-point games, Scotty. It's crazy. Y'all would think that Scotty Barnes, after 4 years in the league, that he would have way more 30-point games, but he only has a handful, guys. He really, really doesn't reach that milestone of 30 points very often. I think he has like 5 games or 7 games that he scored 30 points in his whole entire NBA career. So it is really special. In some ways, Scotty, you got to get a 40-point game. Your career high in points is like 34 points. That is really low. It's like crazy, dude. You can get a 40-point game. You need to. Seriously. Get IQ to set you up and just go crazy on them down near the basket with all your shots that you're making down around in the 10 feet and out, 10 feet in. Yeah, just do that. And man, you're going to have 40 points in the game soon. I'm watching you. I want to see it. Yeah. Yeah. Most saying I agree with Tristan on Yak. Yeah. Yak was unsung and on the download doing amazing things last night. The stats won't show it, but he was very, very important for us last night. Very, very important. The Nets have some big guys. I mean, Claxton is usually a menace to us, but has Claxton, other than getting thrown out in the last game, he really wasn't as huge a factor in this game last night. I mean, I'll look at the Nets just for a little niceness and balance. Obviously, Cameron Johnson is their best player, 24 points, 7 of 12 shooting, but he really didn't do a whole lot other than that. Claxton had a double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds. Noah Clowney got hurt in the middle of the game. That was weird. So did Maxwell Lewis. He got hurt too. D'Angelo Russell making his debut back with the Nets and not missing a beat. That guy's just a dynamic scorer. He's really good at scoring. 22 points off the bench on 9 of 13 shooting. Russell's annoying. Let's just put it that way. And he is definitely their best player now. Ben Simmons, hilarious. At one point late in the game, I heard a couple of guys behind me say, that's his first basket of the game. And I was like, really? And I looked up the scoreboard and it said Ben Simmons, 2 points. And it was like in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, holy crap, that guy's washed. And I started laughing with those guys sitting behind me about Ben Simmons just got his first points of the game in the fourth quarter. And he was 1 for 6. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with him. In some ways, Darko and Scotty talking about him guarding Ben Simmons in such a matchup, Ben Simmons versus Scotty. Well, this is what I'm going to say. Scotty, I'm so proud of you. And this is why I'm proud of you, because you were the best player on the court last night. Not D'Angelo Russell, not Cameron Johnson, not any of the other Raptors. You, man, you did it. You did what I've been asking for all the season. Be the superstar and be the best player on the court and be that guy who dominates the game and wins the game for your team. And that's what you did last night. So, Scotty, that's part of the reason why I'm wearing your jersey on my stream today. That's part of the reason why I'm just like, I'm just bowing down to you, man, because you are amazing. And we needed that kind of performance from you finally. And maybe IQ's the special ingredient that gets you to that place. But, man, I want to see this more and more. The more you can be like Vince Carter and take over games and carry us and do this kind of stuff, oh, man, your career's going to blossom. And you're going to get more and more accolades, and you're going to help the Raptors win. In some ways, you being selfish, Scotty, is not being selfish. It's being benevolent to your team and carrying and helping us win big games, because you are like that. And in some ways, you being so kind and nice to all your teammates and distributing, no, that's not helping us as much as you being selfish as hell and taking the shots yourself. And that's what I want to see more of right there. Way to go, Scotty. Best player on the court. He finally did it. I'm so happy about that. Yeah. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Finally, a dub. Feels so good. Welcome back, IQ. Definitely a difference maker. Oh, my gosh, Marie. Oh, my gosh, was he a difference maker. And so nice to see the celebrations once again, the Skipley and all that fun stuff. He did a too small on somebody, too. The man who quickly does a too small on you, man. And Scotty's little dance on the sideline. Did you see him? He hit that 3 with his butt in the face of the Nets bench. And then he did a little shimmy in front of them. I'm like, oh, Scott. Oh, Scotty. Woo. But he kind of earned it for that one. That was crazy. But in some ways, we don't want to piss them off. So they're keeping receipts. And they're going to come back around and say, oh, Scotty, you did your little dance in front of us last game when we played you. We won't get you back. That's the one thing about being a showboat that I don't like, is you give receipts and people might want to come back and pay them later. He also got 2 breakaway dunks late in the game off of turnovers, and he did manage to do his look back on one of them very, very briefly. Look back for a second and then threw it down, but in a way that he didn't mess up the dunk. and get it turned over and lose that point opportunity. So I'm okay with that, Scott. You want to do your little look back for a split second in the motion and do it. But if you ever mess up that dunk because you're looking back just to do your little taunt, man, I'm be like, don't do that, man. Seriously, don't do that. It's so risky, but you did it, and you did it last night, and it was fine. And I love those breakaway dunks. They were just awesome. And Scotty really left it all on the floor. Did you notice? I don't know if the camera showed it on TV, but we saw it in the arena. When Scotty left the floor at the end of the game, when all the rookies came in, he was exhausted. He was just like Chris Boucher in that one game where they made fun of Chris, where he's at the end of the bench. He collapsed. He was like, you remember that when Chris fell on the bench like a year or so ago? Well, Scotty did that exact thing last night. He did such a expenditure of his own energy to help us win last night that when he got the bench, he had nothing left. And he was laying there on the bench like, and Grady came over to him. He's trying to talk to him about stuff they just did on the court. And this guy's like, he's like, he was so tired. He literally left it all on the court for us to get that big W. Yeah, Scotty, you're awesome, man. You're my hero, my guy. You're my hero. Kaz is here. Trucker Kaz, good morning to you, man. Good morning, Lex from Raptor Free Crew. Big W last night. Let's go. That's right, Kaz. Let's go and get another W against Orlando in the Scotiabank Arena tomorrow night. That's right. Carlos saying the front office really knows their shit. They know what they were getting with IQ. He's a huge, huge boon. I mean, we got to think about before we did the trade with OG in New York, we really needed a couple of things. And I felt like when we got RJ and IQ, we got two really important players for our team. RJ, a player that can score and just barrel to the basket and get points, and it's an unflappable confidence, and it's just a fierce, determined competitor, and especially for his own hometown and his city. That's a huge thing to unlock. And we've seen how RJ's game has gotten better since he's become a Raptor from a Knick. And then Emmanuel just being behind Jalen Brunson in New York. You know, Masai and Bobby said this. We're looking around the league at different players who are in different situations, and we analyze, well, Emmanuel Quickly is a great starting point guard. It's just he's behind Brunson. He'll never get out of there. So let's be opportunists. Let's acquire him, and let's give him the opportunity he deserves, which is being a starting point guard. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, they're so smart about that opportunity and jumping on it. And, well, Emmanuel's the kind of guy that is like, I'm so grateful to God and everything that he has bestowed in the glory of him. And now the Raptors have given me an opportunity to be a starting point guard in the NBA. And I am going to take this ball and run with it and do the best way I can. He's so smart. In some ways, his religiosity is a huge pillar of strength in his life. And in some ways, it keeps him humble and it keeps him right with the type of leader he needs to be in the NBA, to be as successful as possible. So, yeah, front office hit it out of the park. They recognized that the Knicks had a situation with two starting point guards, and they got the one that they wanted off the bench, and now he's our starting point guard. I love that so much. G's saying there are people who still think Scotty should be the primary ball handler. This needs to end. Scotty is amazing as a secondary passer and playing to his strengths. Yes, and yes. All right, I'm going to give G the dunk for today. So far, maybe somebody else will get a dunk. We only had one dunk yesterday in the first day of the year, but we're going to give G the dunk here. And I love it. Honestly, I know that point guard Scotty is just a dream that everybody loves the idea of it. But honestly, you know, there some of the detractors are coming in here, like Giovanni, saying about his handles and some of the stuff about him just aren't good. It's kind of a little bit true. You know, the thing is that Scotty's just not cleaned up. Some ways he's flashy. He's a flashy player. As much as I just lauded Jacoby Walter for being fundamentally really strict and strong in his game, well, Scotty is a little bit needs to tighten up as far as with his handles and some of the stuff he has for me to be totally okay with this. I think that Scotty has an evolution that's going to naturally happen in his career where he's going to become more of the go-to guy and more scoring himself and not passing as much. And it's starting right now. But in the later career, because this kind of flips like this, just like we saw Trae Young in the Atlanta Hawks last weekend, where Trae Young is at a stage in his career where he's not so centered focused for the offense. He's really trying to make all his teammates better by passing off from his attention that he grabs. And that in some ways is the thing that will gradually come back around with Scotty in a few years from now. But Raptors fans, Seriously, did you see what Scott did last night as the guy getting the pass and not passing the ball? We need to discover more of this because there will be more 14 and 18 shooting games. There will be more getting closer to 40-point games, and there will be more dominance of him carrying us in clutch moments and winning us the game. In the fourth quarter, the whole game was pretty close. In fact, the Raptors were losing after the first quarter by 7, and then at halftime they were only up by 1. And then they had a pretty good lead going into the fourth, like 4 points or something like that, but it was still very close. The game got busted open for the Raptors in the fourth quarter by Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley did a whole bunch of plays. He made 4 assists in a row coming down the court, successful conversions on offense to score. And the other team was not scoring because we were holding them and playing good defense. That is a game changer. And in some ways, Emmanuel, not only is he getting teammates involved, not only is he organizing on defense and offense, he's reading the flow of the game and understanding when's the time to go and get them going to score, to close the game, to win. Now, one of the biggest problems the Raptors have had this season is closing close games against big opponents. And we were right there, but we just didn't know how to close the game. Well, that's another thing that Emmanuel brings to our team. He has a good feel for the flow of the game and when to do what and what to take advantage of this as the floor general. And that was a huge part of why we won last night, is because Emmanuel, over a stretch of the fourth quarter, took over on our offense, and he just made the right decisions every which way. That was when we got that alley-oop to Scott, right? That one when he finally threw that ball to Scotty and he just lobbed it and threw it in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Emmanuel directing the team and understanding how to get them organized and reading the flow of the game was a big part of what happened last night. It was really, really good. Nameless is saying, why did Brown not play? Well, he's just back from injury, and it was a back-to-back situation, and he played in Boston. And the whole reason why Bruce Brown did not play is because they did not want to play him 2 nights in a row because of back-to-back. That's all. In some ways, he's easing his way back into playing for the Raptors. And they didn't have a plan to play him 2 nights in a row on a back-to-back. So he sat out last night. That's why. He's not re-hurt or anything. It's just a back-to-back management is what it was. Fiercely saying, finally, post-game questions that made sense. A lot of people are joking because the Raptors actually put the post-game interviews up on YouTube finally again last night. Okay. And we were sitting in Real Sports last night eating before the game. And Adriana's like, why did they not do Raptors Tonight anymore, right? Why did they not do that anymore? And I'm like, well, because we've been losing so much. So in some ways, it's like these guys don't want to hang around after the game. Alvin and Randy Urban and Sherman Hamilton and Paul Jones and Jack Armstrong. These guys don't want to hang around. Leo Routens after the game, after there's been some Routens of the Raptors. No, they don't want to hang out and add another hour to their night just for a post-game show like that. I mean, I wish they did that post-game show every night, but this season's been a wash and a lot of losses, and the misery of hanging around and eating the Real Sports food after the game with Randy Urban is just not in the cards this year. It's just not in the cards. But yeah, I missed the post-game stuff, and well, we win more. Maybe we get our post-game back with Randy Urban. We got to win more. Akil's been off the – oh, my gosh. Akil's so hammered right now. He's really been hitting it hard around New Year's. Oh, my gosh. He was noticeably drunk at work last night. Oh, my gosh. I'm watching him in the arena when he's not on camera. The man is just singing to songs on the radio. He's just in his own little world. I don't know, man. I'm worried about you, Akil. Are you miserable? Why are you drinking so much? Usually people that drink that much are miserable. So come on, man. Don't be so drunk all the time. I'm going to think that you have depression right now. So come on, Akil. Get it together, my guy. Get some water. Get some water, Akil, because your blood alcohol content is pretty high right now. I can tell, my guy. I can tell. All right, let's see. We're right here. Carlos saying, gee, I think it's what you said before. Darko probably played him as the main ball handler when everyone was injured to get it out of his system. It's good work and practice for Scott to do this stuff. And then maybe Emmanuel is the best one. And, Shed is learning. Shed's going to get better and better. Davion has his limits as a point guard in some ways. So in some ways, if you're calculating things, depending on who's out there, well, Scotty may be the best point guard option. And, RJ was for when Scotty was out. They were using RJ as the point guard. So, it may be determined by that, but Emmanuel is obviously the very, very best point guard option for the Raptors. Very, very best. Oh my gosh. Nameless saying, I think IQ could have been back weeks ago, possibly, but the embarrassment of late forced him back. I don't think that's right, Nameless. Sometimes you're a little pessimistic, a little bit negative. I think that, listen, this is the thing. The Raptors have said this year. They want their players to be 100% before they return to the court. They really baby Bruce Brown more than ever. They baby Bruce Brown to be absolutely perfect for him to come back. And that may pay off. We've got to look at what happened with DJ Carton this season. They kind of rushed him back and he re-injured himself even worse. And it kind of messed up his career in a little bit. So we can't, in some ways, this is part of the balance of possibly not winning as much because we want a high draft pick, is that, the players, if they're hurt and they're kind of still hurt and they're not 100%, it's smart to leave them out right now in some ways, even though it's caused a lot of losing and misery for our team. In some ways, Emmanuel comes out and he's not 100% and we're forcing him and we're in this kind of year and he gets hurt even worse. That's horrible, Nameless. So let's think about the logic of this. They really want to make sure the phone battery's at 100% before they take it off the charger. And that is the whole thing with this. And Bruce Brown and Emmanuel Quickly, even though we were told they were going to come back in mid-December, well, they've come back at the end of December. So there's just a couple weeks behind, and that may be because they wanted them to be absolutely topped off with their injury and their health being 100%. And that's a big part of it right there. It's a big, big part of it right there. Yeah, let's see. Mo's saying that play with IQ, Grady, Scotty was so nice, man. Nice to see IQ's family across from me. Yeah, I saw them too, wearing the 5 stuff. Yeah, they were over to the right of where I was. I saw them over there too. Yeah, Fiercely saying my 7 stars are IQ, Scotty, Jakob, Grady, Kelly, Oshai, and Jacoby. Yeah, there's the same 7, a little bit of a different order than me. But yeah, Scotty was number 1 for me. But IQ, yeah, he was so phenomenal in his return. He made Scotty look so good, honestly. Carlos saying it turns out Darko's plays will work when you have your lead guard healthy. Who would have thunk it? Yeah. I mean, in some ways, IQ is that cog that may be necessary for this clock to work. And well, I'm so happy he's back. God hoping his health continues to be very, very good and he can play most of the rest of the year out, because man, we're going to be a totally different team with IQ in the lineup every night. Really, really are. Yeah. Name is saying, in my opinion, if we were still losing by 2 every game, IQ would still be out. Man, you can't say stuff like this. I mean, seriously. You can't say stuff like this. Nameless, this is too negative. I'm sorry. This is a positive Raptor space, and this is silly to say something. This is a woulda, coulda, shoulda that doesn't even matter. There's just reality, my guy. And Emmanuel's back as of last night. So let's just stick with reality and stop making up fantasy stuff. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. Team looked way better with our point guard back. Didn't it, Cool Cat? Didn't it, Coach? Oh, my gosh. It looks so good, man. So good. Yeah, Blackhawk saying Brown is on load management, so no back-to-back. Yep, that's exactly right. Good to see so many people here in the chat. We want to talk about this win. Click is back. Good to see Raptor Freak Click back in the chat. We are a rebuilding team and had the injury bug all year. Those two combined together is why we've lost so many games. Yes, some was effort, but also there's a talent discrepancy. IQ makes a huge difference. Yeah, he's one of our top 2 paid players. And in some ways that you pay for that talent, that is a big chunk of your talent. And when your talent is back, well, it showcases like it does last night. And that's a big, big part of it. Click's got it exactly right. This is why our team is 8 wins so far this year, is we're a rebuilding team that's had a severe injury problem this season. And not having our starting point guard for only 2 games or something like that up until last night, that has really hampered us. Really hampered us. IQ makes a huge difference. He's exactly right. Fiercely saying Scotty doing a shimmy in front of the Nets bench was so funny. I also love IQ doing the too small and the skipping. It's just so nice to see joy on our players' faces. This has really been a rigmarole of sadness. And the games that we were embarrassing losses, record-breaking losses that nobody wants to have a part to do with. Emmanuel, in some ways, if he's healthy and he's out there, he's saying, no, we're not losing by 50 to the Celtics. No, we're going to make sure this doesn't happen. Some ways, that personal pride and the awareness and the IQ of knowing that this is not good in some ways is good when quickly is back. And in some ways, he's going to be like that Lowry. It's holding people accountable, being that kind of leader and trying to tell people like this is the standard that the Raptors have. In fact, that's what his interview sounded like after the game, is that in some ways, look, I wasn't playing in the last month of December of 2024. And we looked really bad at times. And that is not the standard that I have for myself. And I don't have it for my teammates either. And when I'm playing and I'm out there, we're going to hold it to higher standard, is basically how Emmanuel was talking after the game last night. That's a real leader, and that's a real winner, and a guy that's not going to settle for taking L's like we did in December when he's out there. That's right. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. Name was saying if IQ did not return when he did, MLSC would watch ticket sales plummet by 30%. Man, you're just too negative today, Nameless. You're too negative. In some ways, I might time you out. If you can't, try and be a little positive. We won. We finally ended our losing streak, and everything you're bringing me is garbage right now. Is negative, 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 negative. IQ this. If he hadn't done this, if he hadn't done that, who cares? I don't care about the money for the team. I've never cared about their ticket sales. I've never cared about concessions and all that kind of stuff. I only care about them winning. I care about basketball. The money stuff, well, whatever. They can handle that themselves, Rogers and Bell and all. Well, Bell's not involved anymore. Yeah. Name is saying, you ever witness an investment portfolio decrease by 30%? I haven't. It's time to panic. See, money doesn't rule my world. So I don't even think about this kind of stuff. I don't give a crap about this, man. In some ways, these are comments that just aren't necessary right now. Seriously. You're talking about things that haven't happened, whether it's the IQ stuff before or the thing that you just said. And some ways, who cares about this? Let's talk about the basketball game, Nameless. Seriously. Blackhawk saying not scouting Common Malak. He is not in top 6. If we are not in top 6, then we're effed. Not scouting Common Malak. He is not in top 6. If we're not top 6, then we're effed. Well, Neil, we've said this, and this is what we said. Is, if we're not in the top 6, who cares? Let's not make some scenario where we're going to lose either way. If we had Grady at 13, we've had Jacoby at 19. I don't care where we pick. I've never cared about that. And the ping pong balls will determine where we pick. It's not like we get to choose. So why we get upset at this? You can't say, oh, it's doomsday if we don't get top 6. No, it's not. We'll be all right. We're going to figure it out. Hopefully we will get top 6, and it could very be likely true. But I'm open to whatever happening by the end of the season, especially if we do make a surge up in the standings and finally we're in like the play-in or something. I'd much rather do that than try and mess around with the draft, as good as it is. But who knows? The Hawks were in the play-in, and they still got the first pick last year. So there's all kinds of areas that can be captured at the same time, and they're not exclusive from each other. So, yeah, and I think scouting that guy is worthwhile because, once again, we've talked about a plan to get a center in the second round. And maybe that Malak guy is available in the second round with a second draft pick in the second round. Is what I'm saying. So it's worthwhile. Click saying, hey, Lex, been so long since I've checked in. It's a little harder for me to watch the team every game because of our position, but I'm always looking at highlights and things like that. Just been very busy. You know what? Click is all good, man. You're one of the originals. You've been watching my channel for the 3 years I've been doing it on and off. So I'm going to give you a dunk. I appreciate you coming back and checking in with us. And I understand. I mean, everybody's different. They're not able to always handle the losing, and people are busy. They got their lives with their family and their work and all kinds of other stuff, and setting aside time for the Raptors on a regular basis when they are just not performing or doing well with their standings, I totally understand this. But if you're a real one and you understand, you have a history of being a Raptors fan, a Raptors freak, you're always welcome back. I'm not one of these guys who's going to say I'm keeping attendance, and if everybody's not here, then you're not a real one. No, I totally get it. People have their own lives. And especially in this world today, it's harder than ever to make ends meet. So if you need to cut some time out just because the Raptors are not entertaining to you because they're losing too much, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Click, salute to you. Thank you for being original from the beginning. That's right. Yeah. I scouted Common Malak mainly for Gerald because it was birthday this week, and it's a birthday present for my guy Naco the Nacho. Jimmy's saying, you had fun last night? I bet you were shocked IQ was coming back, and I'm really in really good form. I was shocked. I was happy because I heard it when we were eating dinner, I think, or was it when I was at the arena? I don't remember exactly. But when I heard IQ was back, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. I was really, really hoping we could win no matter what. And well, when I saw the trade-offs of the injury report, RJ's still out, but IQ is back and Jacoby and Davion are healthy and can play. I was like, okay, this is way more of our team in than out. Because basically we were just missing RJ and Bruce last night with AJ Lawson in street clothes otherwise. And everybody else was suited up and ready to play. And Shamshay even got to play last night, which was cool. Yeah, I had a blast last night. In some ways, I was not feeling well physically for a lot of the game, like early on, and almost left before the game even started because I was so ill and did not feel well. But I took something, I felt better. And man, I'm so glad I stayed for the whole game and saw it all the way through because man, I was in real pain at the game and I did not want to be there for a while, but I stuck through it and I'm so glad I did, man. So glad I did. Blackhawk saying Malak is a bit of a project being as that he started basketball late. I like Asa Newell. Well, we'll have to give me another name to scout like that one down the road. We've done our scout for today with Common. And yeah, we'll just have to see. Everybody's going to have their own opinions. I like this kid. I like the fact that he's not just a real thin 7'2" guy from Sudan. The guy looks like he's got some pounds on him already. And in some ways, that's what you need in the NBA to bang with the big bodies of the NBA. So, yeah, I like him. And if you're saying, because I know you're keeping track of this, Neil, you're saying that he's probably not going to be a first rounder. He's a project and he'll be in the second round. Well, I think he's pretty good. I would like to have seen more 3-point shots in his highlight reel. There was just like one. It was a really janky, weird delivery that he had in his shot. But the lob stuff was awesome, and obviously he can block shots too, which is pretty cool. Wayne's here. Good morning, Raptor freaks. Happy New Year's. Totally ecstatic for Team Raptors win last night. Missed the game live, but watched the hour replay and witnessed solid point guard contributions. Let's leave point guards to point guards. I like that, Wayne. I'm with that. I think G is echoing that sentiment. And I'm with you guys. I'm on this. You know, I've never really was in the Scotty Barnes point guard school. I said it years ago. And I said Scotty can be a point guard, but it's not utilizing his true best talents, putting him in that position of the distributor. He is such a good scorer. And you can see, like, what was the knock on Scott when he was drafted? He's not a good shooter. Well, look at the way he shoots now and how he developed into being a good shooter. His shot is not like a normal jump shot. It's very crisp. And very, like, when it goes through, it's going right through the net. There's no messing around with the rim or anything like that. It's going right through the net usually when Scott shoots. And that doesn't matter if it's 3-point range or a turnaround mid-range shot. And, you know, obviously he's an elite finisher near the basket with his strength and long arms. So, yeah, this kid can score and put the ball in the hoop. And the Raptors need him to do that, Raptors fans. Not necessarily look for his teammates with fun, exciting passes. No, he needs to be selfish and score himself. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right, Wayne. I'm with you on this. I'm totally on team Scotty power forward. That's right. Stargate is saying Igor, Fears, or Kasparis. Those are the three I wouldn't mind. Okay, these are different names that Stargate has brought me. These will be people I scout in the coming weeks and months before the draft. We will be scouting people like crazy on this channel. Today it was Common. And I like them. I'll give them the thumbs up on me, man. Yeah. Blackhawks saying they will be in the top 6. So those three that Stargate names are going to be up in the higher part of the draft. Okay, interesting. Mr. saying, wow, we're talking draft. I know he's just ready for this. He's been biting at the chomp for me to talk draft. Yeah, it's 2025. And yeah, it's time for me to start talking the draft. We'll do more scouts. We've done the scout of the day. We'll do these other ones down the road, guys. I don't want to get them all out of the way. It's fun. Part of the fun part of the show where I do the scout of the day, and we'll get them in. Trust me, we'll get them in. Blackhawks saying Asa Newell will be better, be the better Derek Lively of the draft. Hey, any kind of player like Derek Lively coming in the draft, we can get somebody like that. Hey, that guy has been a very impactful player for the Mavericks in his short time playing for them, for sure. Anybody like that that's coming up, I would love to get somebody like that for the Raptors. Stargate saying at Blackhawk, I was scouting Asa as well. Only issue with him is he's a bit lazy on defense. All right, I'm going to have to scout him myself down the road. Neil saying basketball interference for Scotty's three-pointer with Oshai trying to dunk it wouldn't change the game. We won decisively by a big margin. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything like that. It's just haters. They showed that play on NBA's YouTube channel, and some people were writing in the comments, oh, that shouldn't have counted as a 3 because it should have either been basketball interference by Oshai grabbing the net while he made it, or what. The refs were cool about it. That's what I was trying to say in that rant, is that the NBA and the officials, they need to make the game more fun. And when fun things happen on the court, like that are spectacular, they should stop raining on them and taking them away. There was a block that Scotty did in the first half that was not totally goaltending, but Curtis Blair decided to call a goaltend and gave the points to the Nets. And in some ways, I'm like, that was pretty borderline. Why don't you go with the home crowd and make them feel that? Well, later on, Scotty did get a block later, and it may have been borderline a goaltend or not a goaltend. And this time they didn't call the goaltend. So I'm just saying, one of the ways the NBA could improve the game again is make it fun again and encourage and go and embrace that side of the NBA marketing from when I was a kid. It was all about dunk highlights and half-court shots and goofiness and fun stuff. The bloopers a little bit, sure, but more like fantastic stuff that most people can't do on a basketball court, and these guys can, because that's what makes them professionals and one of the 300 or so great basketball players in this world that get to play in the NBA. So, when they do crazy, amazing shots and things, reward them. Give it to us, because that's the stuff that makes people wow and enjoy being at the game. That's what I'm trying to say right there. That's right. W chemistry. That's right, Monique. W chemistry. Chemistry. That's right. Ninja's saying when he lobbed it, I actually screamed out loud, laugh out loud. It was weird because I was sitting at the end line away from it, like behind the backboard where he threw it, and it looked like Abaji had caught it and dunked it. But then I was like, wait a second. And they called 3-pointer for Scott. I was like, wait, what happened? He made that shot, just throwing it up like as a lob. It was so weird. Like, that is weird, man. That's how you know you're hot. You're not even trying to make the shot and you throw it through the hoop. That's crazy, man. That was supposed to be a lob for Abaji, and it was a 3-point shot. And the funny thing is, the stat for it is one of the longest 3-point shots that Scotty's ever made now, because he was so far out when he shot it. He's got a half-court heave that he made that's the furthest he's ever made as a 3-point shot. And that's like the second furthest 3-point shot that Scotty's ever made, because it was a lob to Abaji. It was so crazy. From my angle where I was sitting in the crowd, it looked like Abaji caught it and dunked it. But then they said 3-pointer for Scotty. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, what? I saw him there. It's so weird, man. Neil saying, when we will whip Asa into shape if he comes down, it comes down to him. Besides, he is quicker than Queen. Okay, this is all foreign to me right now. I'll find this stuff out slowly but surely as you guys reveal the names to me over time. So be there for the scout of the day. It's always fun. Blackhawk saying Queen is a baby Embiid. Ooh. Well, Embiid's already a baby. That must be really crazy. Mischief saying Emmanuel unlocks the whole lineup. This is true. This is very, very true. So happy to see Emmanuel return, and he had a huge impact. Huge impact. Most saying NBA posted IQ Skippy dance. I laugh out loud. Loved it. Yeah. In some ways, look, if you're listening, Adam Silver, and you hear me, if you let everybody get coverage in your league will become more valuable. You don't want to sully or water down other teams in the league other than the ones you really love, like New York and Boston and the LA Lakers. You need to show respect for all of them, because if you teach disrespect for any of your teams in your league, well, your product gets worse because you're devaluing it yourself. So that's something we've learned recently. So maybe if you cover all the teams properly and stop having haves and have-nots in your league, you'll get better results with how your league's doing as far as things. Boss Take's back. Good to see Boss Take. Quantum Solutions for longevity. Quickly over Barnes for point guard any day. That's right. That is what the Raptor Freaks are all in agreement for the most part today on this. I can only wonder what he shall not be named saying this morning. Get Emmanuel off our team. Scotty can't play point guard when he's here. You idiot. You dumbass, Misovich. You dumbass. Yeah, Mo's saying 15 assists with chef's kiss. Mwah. Yeah, it was. It was really, really good. Really, really good. Mo, I'm going to give you your first dunk for the season, for going down the arena and representing the RFF right and helping us get that victory. 3-pointer for Mo, our first one of 2025 for chef's kiss on the 15 assists, 1 turnover by Emmanuel quickly. Paul B is here. Producer Paul B helping me with the Kensington Variety VIP Club stuff. Thank you, Paul, for your work. You've helped with converting the files from Instagram to get them back on so I can put them on YouTube. Paul, you are awesome. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. What a fun run to end the game. IQ and his positive energy will help this team. Yeah, I love it. His powers were powerful enough to overcome a Brooklyn Nets team in this late game situation and help guide our team to the victory. Now, every game's going to be different. Different teams have different aptitudes and different skills and different levels of powers with their talent. Now, in some ways, it's like a video game. Brooklyn Nets are probably one of the earlier levels in the game that are easier. Well, we're going to get harder games and harder matches coming up, and we're going to have to stress test Manuel Quickly's ability as a point guard to direct things into winning against high caliber opponents. That's what we have to see next. I'm all about that. I'm all about that right there. That's right. Boss Takes saying, we need to get 2 first rounders in the next draft. Why is Bruce sitting? Well, it's the second night of a back-to-back, and he just came back from injury. So he was scheduled to take a rest game on the second night of a back-to-back. That's why he was sitting. No further injuries, nothing re-aggravated or anything. It's just a rest on a second night of back-to-back. Yeah. Stargate saying, in reference to IQ, that over-the-shoulder lob to Scotty was ridiculous. He put a little wrist action in it. Did you see that? He's like looking. It's almost like Prince on Dave Chappelle's show, like kind of thing. He kind of just lofted it over the defender. It was so amazing. And it's like game blouses. That's what that shit looked like to me, at least. It looked like Chappelle's show with Prince, that one basketball sketch that they did. Yeah. Then him and Jakob in the early fourth were doing things that they worked on in the offseason. Yeah. He just unlocks a lot of different people. IQ is so brilliant. He's such a very, very, very brilliant person. He's just really, really smart. And he's really got the right head on his shoulders to be absolutely the best potential that he can be. And I love what he was saying after the game, too. He said, there's been times in my life where I've worked really, really hard and gotten nowhere, but I just kept going. And then there's a breakthrough eventually. And that's just what this is. In some ways, we got to work really, really hard, and we may not be getting anywhere for a while. But then, boom, all of a sudden, something like last night happens. There's a little bit of a breakthrough. And you can see that there is promise in the future, even if everything looked dark and dismal the day before. And that's what I'm saying. Emmanuel understands that in some ways, working hard is not enough. In some ways, you got to work hard and be persistent and get through the very tough times where nothing is happening right for you, or you feel like you're making no progress. Because all of a sudden, boom, you get an increase in your progress all of a sudden through it that you didn't realize. And some people, they give up in the very hard part, and they never see that increase after the very hard part. That's why Raptors fans, we got to stick to our guns and go through this with patience and not start calling for different changes just because we've had some of the worst losses in our history of our franchise in the last month. No, we have to understand when our guys are healthy, we are a good team and we're going to be fine. And we got to allow for that to happen instead of trying to take the trash out. Well, only half the food is on the table. How about that is what I'm saying. We don't need to take no trash out. We're in good shape. And everybody's saying the Raptors aren't good enough in their current roster. You're wrong. And Emmanuel Quickly just proved that to you last night. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Ridiculous pass. So good. Wayne saying, I have to have a get rid of list, which does not include Kelly. Kelly's a top tier player who will excel with the top tier talent on our team and not players with their bad passing. Same with Jakob Class. The thing with Kelly is, he's weird, man. He's so smart too. In some ways, we want to have that kind of smartness. Now, his player build is not very good physically. He's not the fastest guy. He doesn't have the best reactions. In some ways, he's a slow dude. We get that, but he's so smart. And in some ways, just like the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady will win the race. And in some ways, some of the things that Kelly does with his intelligence and vet know-how is invaluable. And it plugs in real well with very high-level players like Emmanuel that are working off of him. And there's very much a connection of brilliance in some ways going on between Emmanuel and Jakob, Emmanuel and Kelly, Emmanuel and Scotty, Emmanuel and Grady, Emmanuel and Jacoby, Emmanuel and Oshai. You look at the first play of the game, it's a transition, a fast break, and Emmanuel in stride is finding Oshai, who's cutting to the basket and making the layup for the very first basket of the game. Second play of the game, they find Jakob Poeltl in the block, Emmanuel, and Jakob gets a real easy basket down low. So easy, high percentage baskets right from the start because Emmanuel's pushing the ball and he's finding people and getting it to them in a place where they can succeed. And that is the way you want to start the game right there. So good. So good. Boss takes saying spacing is better with RJ on the floor, just not defense. We'll have to see. Emmanuel said this specifically last night that RJ is improving his defense immensely since last year on the Knicks. And yeah, in some ways, look, I don't want to knock our guys for their weaknesses. I get it. Kelly's slow. I get it. RJ's not the best defensive player, but he's out there trying, and damn for sure is a trying guy and playing his ass off guy. I'll take that over a guy who may not be trying, who's more talented at defense. So I'll take that with RJ. Get a first rounder for Pirtle. I don't think that's the right idea. Pirtle is necessary for this team. As much as IQ is necessary, as much as Scotty is necessary, these guys are necessary players for our team to have any chance to compete. And that's what I want to do. I want to compete. I don't want to bottom out and just cruise to the end of the season with a lot of losses. I want to try and win more, guys. It's fun. It was fun last night. Stargate saying, I don't know why all the hate on Kelly. Every team needs a goon. That's what he is. He's our dirty player. That's just totally true. This is totally true. And not only that, he's a good personality. And once again, he's playing for the right reasons for our team because he's here because he wanted to play for the Raptors at some point in his career. He finally made it. And he's a hometown hero. And that's why it's like people don't go after Kelly. Kelly's like RJ. Kelly's like AJ. Kelly's like Eugene. These guys are hometown heroes that play for Toronto because they're from Toronto. In some ways, that is a bonus and an extra get up and go for it. And Kelly's a great locker room guy. And like I said, like him and Scotty have been working out before the games and doing shoot arounds. They did it again last night. And they are really kind of like, there's some stuff that Kelly's teaching Scotty that y'all may not realize on the down low. There's a lot of stuff that happens in practice with the team and just interacting that you don't see show up until later down the road. And it could very well be some of the stuff that Kelly's teaching Scotty you may not see for a little while, but then at some point you're like, holy crap, wait, that looked like something Kelly Olynyk would do that Scotty just did. And some people say, well, we don't want Scotty to do things like Kelly Olynyk. What are you talking about? There are some things that Kelly does that it would be great if Scotty had the savvy and the intelligence to do himself. Now, I'm just saying. Yeah. Let's keep going. Carlos saying Walter is such a mature player. He really is. I'm so shocked with him. He was such an enigma. He was somebody who was just a big question mark to me. And everything I'm finding out about the answer to the question is just fantastic. It's so awesome. Wayne saying, what? Trade for Jacoby? Very kindergarten comment. Jakob. Trade for Jakob? Very kindergarten comment. Jakob ain't going nowhere. Don't suggest trades unless you name the replacement. Otherwise, be quiet. We're very protective of Pirtle. And in some ways, I don't want to trade Pirtle. No, he loves playing for the Raptors. In fact, it was fun seeing his happy post yesterday after the game. This is what Jakob said about the Raptors game. Let's see. I'll read it verbatim. I won't do it in the Austrian and the German like I've done in the past. 130-113 home win against the Brooklyn Nets with almost everyone healthy. We bounced back nicely from yesterday's loss. From the second quarter on, we played within a good flow and really got it going in the fourth. After 11 losses in a row, this win is important for our confidence, and let's hope that we'll have the entire squad for longer stretches in the next weeks and months. JP19, Toronto Raptors. That's Jakob Pirtle on his own Facebook page in there. And I write him a nice comment after that also. And I see Isaac Campbell's in there liking it too. Yeah, man. I just love Yak. I love this team so much. And when they're healthy, they're a lot more fun to watch. That's for sure. Carlos, I remember back to Coach Allen's projected with Jacoby, and this guy has the goods to become a Booker light player. You mean like Devin Booker? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things about him that are really smart with footwork and just the dribble. And I like how he decides his shot selection. He's very good at passing up shots and passing it to somebody else, but he's also very good at recognizing when he can call his own number and kind of get in near the basket and just make a nice little shot over somebody real quick too. So there's a lot of intelligence and he's a hooper. This guy's a hooper. Jacoby's really, really a great young rookie. And I'm so happy he's in a Raptors jersey right now. Wayne's saying Jamal Shed should be assigned to IQ. Kid has some of the attributes needed for a backup point guard, and he can stick around for further development. Want to see battle with IQ to get him better shooting option. Yeah, we didn't see Jamison play as much last night, partly because the guy's coming back. And in some ways, he's the depth chart behind Grady and down that way. Jamal is on his way. This is such a cerebral, great point guard. Also, we have some very smart point guards on our team right now that are not named Scotty. And in some ways, we need to let these guys play the point guard. And Jamal, in some ways, has got such great aptitude and intelligence as a person. I think that Jamal Shed is going to impress us more and more as time goes on. I really am proud of him making the initiative to increase his free point practice to get better three-point shooting since the beginning of the year. That was one of the main knocks about Jamal Shed, is he was really bad at three-point shooting. He's gotten a lot better in the last month, even while we've been losing. So he's been making a lot more threes and missing, which has been good. He didn't make them last night, but he's making them more before. Fiercely is very much against trading Jakob, like most of us. Carlos saying, if anything, we should find a younger yak, a yak light. More yaks, you can never get enough of yak. Well, yakety yak, don't talk back. I would say this. Maybe we get a guy who's like Yak, but he can shoot threes. And then it'll make a lot of people quiet down about wanting to trade the new center because he doesn't shoot threes. I mean, that's the way the league is going. And everybody's like a stretch big with a big 3-point shooter. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. But I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We can get more players of size in the pipeline for the Raptors down for the future. That'd be great. Trevor J saying 2 players for Nets went off to the back with injury, and 1 player for Pistons was carried out on a stretcher last night. Yeah, I know you meant stretcher there. Jay Ivey having a very serious accident last night, injury, and having to go off the court on a stretcher. That's scary as hell. And man, that's not good for the Pistons. He's been a very important player for them this year. Yeah, there was a couple of hard hits. Now, the play where Clowney got hurt, I saw very closely because I was near that basket at that end of the court. And he got on Scott's back, basically. He went over the back on a rebound on Scotty. And Scotty didn't really undercut him on purpose, but he did fall on his side and he hit the ground hard. Whoa, Noah Clowney hit the ground hard in that fall right there. But that, in some ways, that was his own damn fault because he went over the back Scott. He kind of went right over him, and that was all his own momentum that made him do that. Scotty did not try and hurt that guy or uncut him. That dude went flying up over him on his own. Milbester's here. We got Nick's Freak in the house coming to check on us on the morning after Emmanuel quickly returned from injury. Good morning, Lex. I was watching Archive Nets Raptors games last night, and they showed on Yes Network, the Nets channel with the Yankees. Saw quickly is back. Nice to see him. RJ didn't play. Yeah, RJ's been sick most of the last month, Milbester, with an illness. He literally threw up 5 minutes before a tip-off in a game recently. Well, he's had to be off the last 2 games. He did not go to Boston for New Year's Eve game that we lost really badly, and he did not play yesterday either. We're hoping that RJ will be back for Friday. It's an illness. It's not an injury. He's been sick. He's been yakking and barfing all over the place lately. That's why he's out. Milbester saying Nets were playing good first half, but then the Raptors took over and won by like 10 points. We won by 17. I saw Lewis leg injury for the Nets in the fourth, awful, and he couldn't get up until his teammates helped carry him. Yeah, there were some ugly injuries in that game last night. I hated to see. We don't ever want to see anybody getting hurt anywhere, anyway. The last game I went to before last night was the Denver game against Jokic when Scotty got cracked in the eye with the elbow. And I hated seeing that and seeing Scotty leave. And I don't like seeing Nets players leave either in some ways. I like Maxwell Lewis a lot. I think he's a great young player. And he can be very helpful to the Nets down the road. But yeah, I didn't like seeing him get hurt, man. The Pepperdine product. Yeah, he's a good player. Seriously, I really like Maxwell Lewis. He was one of the guys in that draft that I thought were going to be like really big time. All right, let's see. Milbester has filled it up a little bit. Let's just see. All right, hang on. Where are we with the chat? Here. G saying a Knicks fan wrote on another channel that even with our record, Raptors fans show out and respect the fan base. Yeah. I mean, seriously, that is for real. Like, that's part of why I went there last night. We debated whether we should go at the last minute because I was feeling very ill before we left. And the headache of driving all the way down and getting parking and doing everything and going the game in some ways was daunting to me. And so some of it is that I'm an empath, and being in a big, huge crowd of people is very taxing on me. It makes me feel like very wary and tired afterwards. But I persevered. I told myself, you got to be there for them, Lex. You know what? If they lose tonight and you didn't go down there, you're going to feel awful. So you better get down there and do your part to help them from the crowd. And so I did. I persevered. I showed up and I went to the game, even if I really felt like dog shit, honestly, but I still showed up. Yeah, our fans are awesome. In some ways, they got to be more confident to cheer for them and believe in good things happening for them and not getting all down in the doldrums when they're in the doldrums with them and causing an echo chamber of confusion and uncertainty and no confidence. In some ways, we need to be blindly confident for our team, no matter their record, no matter the score on the scoreboard, and just believe because they've shown us that they are that kind of team that will come back from a 20-point margin and still win a game. That's what I'm saying. So always believe, Raptors fans, and keep coming down there. And the respect from the rest of the league is showing because we cheer our team on. Right. That's right. A lot of people stop going to games in different places like Washington. How good is their attendance with their record right now? Not very good, but we're still going, even though we only got 8 wins. Milbester's saying, Lex, so the Cavs and the Knicks on 8-game win streaks, and the Knicks beat the Jazz last night for 9th in a row. We play the Raptors at home next week for a 3rd game between both teams this season. February's last game versus both. Yeah, that game next week was supposed to be on ESPN, but because the Raptors are so bad, they demoted that game from ESPN, and they're picking another game to be on ESPN instead. The Raptors have played so poorly. They may want to change this back because, honestly, if Emmanuel's back and RJ shows back up, the high drama of those two Knicks coming back to New York to play y'all's team next week may actually be good television after all, and the game may be very competitive because the Raptors are back, baby, because Quickly's back. And, well, I don't know if they'll switch it around again that quickly to give it back to us from the other game. They should, honestly, if you ask me, but I get it why they took it away. The Raptors have been so bad. They took away our national televised game against the Knicks next week that they're not going to put it on there. Milbester's saying, why didn't RJ play that game versus the Nets? I told you, it's because he's sick. Glad to see Quickly back, and he looked really well when I saw the Nets game, Lex. Hopefully RJ is back for the Knicks game at Madison Square Garden next week. Quickly healed. Yeah, it's not that he's injured. He's sick. He's got a stomach flu. He's got an illness. He's had it for most of December, and it's been bugging him for most of this month. He's missed like 5 or 6 games because of being sick. So this is something we've been dealing with. He came back a little bit in between, but he was still sick. So hopefully he'll be fully like fluids and rest, and he'll be fine, and he'll be able to play in New York next week. I think he will be. I'm expecting him back for Friday. I'm expecting him back tomorrow for Orlando. Yeah, let's see. RJ was ill. That's right, Fiercey. Carlos saying Maxey has limitations in being a floor general, but an offensive juggernaut. Yeah, I think that's the difference right there. Maxey may be a more high-level scorer. Like he's going to get 50 points more often than Emmanuel Quickly, but Emmanuel Quickly may get 20 assists more often than Tyrese Maxey. So it's like they're similar in body type and college and different things like that, and maybe some skills. But there are very different brands of ice cream here, different flavors, and Quickly and Maxey. So it's not as easy as just saying, oh, we got our Maxey. No, we got our Quickly, and he's a very, very interesting variant in a way. Yeah, Stargate saying, did you guys see at the end of the game Jakob walking and talking with Orish? Sorry, but do not trade Yak. Bruce and Chris, maybe. Kelly, but that's it. And fuck a first-round pick. This ain't boxing. You know, I totally saw that. And I saw it in the arena. When they were walking off the court, Shamshay was getting direct instruction from Jakob, and they were talking to him very in-depth. You know, I saw a lot of people mentoring Shamshay at that game. Different people talking to him. AJ Lawson was talking to Shamshay and teaching him some stuff before the game. I've seen a lot of different people talking to him and getting in his ear. Kelly Olynyk was in his ear. I even saw Scotty and Shamshay palling around before the game in the shoot-around, and Scotty was really goofing with Ulrich. So there is a lot of more connecting, it seemed like. In some ways, I worry about the 18-year-old kind of being an oddball in the group because he's so young and he's so different, being from Africa and not like anything like some of the other guys. Well, it's good to see that they're warming up and they're bonding with him and bringing him in the fold and making him feel more a part of things. And yeah, Jakob counseling, Ulrich Shamshay after the game, walking off the court was fantastic. I saw it. I saw it in person. I watched it all the way to the tunnel. That wasn't a short conversation. They were walking and talking all the way on the way out. That's right, Stargate. That's right. Mischief saying, Lex, you wanted Milbester back. You got him. Welcome back, Milbester. Yeah, Milbester's fine. I just asked him to limit his comments, especially since today is going to be a long stream probably. And just don't keep repeating yourself, Milbester. If you say something, say it once. I'll see it and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I had no problem with Milbester. Milbester's a fan of sports and he's a passionate guy and he respects the Raptor freaks. So I have no problem with him coming in here. In fact, we enjoy talking to Milbester to a degree. We really do. Stargate saying, "Oh my God, Ben Simmons is terrible. Even his defense has dropped off a bit now too." Yeah, yeah, he's a weird guy. He's so weird, man. Yeah, he was really bad last night. It was fun to see how bad he was. We were making fun of him. Milbester saying, "Laugh out loud, mischief. I'm only here for the Nets game, and I saw it yesterday. Stopping by for a bit, and the next play the Raptors at Madison Square Garden next week for a third season series game this season. One more in February after that." That's right. You're repeating yourself. But I am, yeah, he's only showed up around Knicks stuff mostly this season. He's not been here every day. Also, mischief. I was here for a second Knicks Raptors game when I was in Madison Square Garden, the Knicks blowout win. I told Lex I haven't watched the Knicks much because of baseball, WBC qualifiers in 7 weeks. Yeah, he's been more focused on his baseball than watching his own team, the Knicks, even though they've been playing very well. Yeah, around that Christmas game when we went to New York, that sucked, man. I hated that game so much. And the sad thing was I only got to watch 2 games down south in Atlanta with my family, and it was the Fred and Rockets game on Sunday, and then OG and the Knicks on the Christmas Eve. And that, man, both those games were just garbage. And then Memphis was really bad, and then Boston was really bad. And it was like, yeah, really bad stretch of games for the Raptors at the end of 2024. I'm just glad that calendar got turned. Like Jack Armstrong said, turn that page and let's get to the next part. And that's 2025 and a win against Brooklyn. Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Wayne's saying the energy of the Raptors was noticeable from the beginning. Oshai is too damn talented and athletic to be a passive player. Being aggressive takes him to the next level and eventually staying there. Yeah. Yeah, I think that IQ got him going the right way with that very first play, as far as set him up for a really nice, easy layup in transition. And hopefully that helps him hit threes down the road because he's feeling confident and he's gotten off to the right start. I like that. Randolph saying, "New Year's blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. All of us have one life to live. Just live yours and do not waste it trying to live the life of others. Discover your greatness." I love that. Blessing to you, Randolph Phillips, and the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. New Year's is here, and we are in that new year already. This is the second day of the new year. Let's make it count, Raptors Freaks. Let's get out there and have a great, fantastic day and get ready for Orlando tomorrow. Plus, Malachi Flynn and the Austin Spurs will be at Paramount Food Center on Friday night and Saturday. It's a back-to-back with the Austin Spurs. We'll get to see Malachi against the 905 tomorrow and also on Saturday. So be ready for that also. Oh, the phone's ringing. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Milbester's saying, "Lex, this 2025 and 2026. I'll be very occupied with World Basketball Classic qualifiers this February 21st to March 6th, and then MLB season before 2026 World Basketball Classic." Can you just hang it up?
I did.
Just hit the X.
I did hit the off button.
All right, can you put the phone off the hook upstairs? I'll be done in a little bit, please. Just a lot going on with international baseball. That's great, Milbester. I'm glad you have like a lot of baseball going on right now. I'm sure you'll get back to basketball before the end of the season. Stargate saying, "Yak really looked concerned when that kid went down with the ankle injury." Maxwell Lewis. Yeah, he was over there checking him out and kind of with the Nets training staff. He was there. Yeah, it was interesting that he was taking such a concern. I wonder if he knows him somehow. Carlos saying, "This is such a crazy rebuild. We were all doom and gloom yesterday, and then boom, today all glee and joy." That's what I'm saying. This is the way it is. Don't stay in your feelings too long as far as things, because you live to play another day, and things can change like that. Man, I lost like 12 viewers because of that phone call. It's all right. All right. It's all good. All right, let me keep going. I'm going to finish up soon. Don't worry. I'll be done soon. Nets is assembling long arm monsters too. So more and more teams are going Vision 6-9. Yes, we showed a direction for teams to build their team in recent years with the Raptors, and everybody's trying to copycat us now. So it is what it is. We're going to just have to weather it. We've got some good talent, even if we're not long arm monsters anymore. Milbester saying, "Lex also, Nets had traded Dorian Finney-Smith to the Lakers for another player for third round picks. D'Angelo Russell. That's why you saw a different Nets team versus the Raptors." I am very aware of this, Milbester. You do not have to tell me this. I was at the game. I saw D'Angelo playing. I'm just going to skip this. Wayne saying it's not doom and gloom. It's speaking to what we see and being Raptor freaks and not apologists. Scotty refuses to do certain basic passes to Jakob, and it hurts us. Just the truth. We love our team. I don't know if that's totally true. I think that him and Jakob play well off each other. It's just in some ways they got to generate the awareness of knowing what Scotty wants to do without just passing it off his head. And in some ways, people have to catch up to Scotty's awareness and what he's capable of doing and understanding they need to be ready at any moment. But also, Scotty has his part in it where he's got to look out for his teammates that are ready for the passes instead of just rifling them off to people when they're not ready. Yeah, Melbester, I'm going to skip some of your comments because a lot of this is just stuff we already knew as far as the Mount Verde stuff. Yeah, and I'm not worried about the Knicks. I do need to get out of here, Melbester. So he's saying, Lex, you got to love quickly. IQ knows what he's talking about. This is why us Knicks fans miss him. He was also a gym rat and workout freak with Obi Toppin before both were traded from the Knicks. Yeah, he's a real one, and we are very happy to have him on our team. I still got to do Instagram stories, and I got to do the classic card real quick. Most saying, W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Let's keep climbing positive vibes only. I'm totally with you on that, Mo. Stargate saying, oh my God, Ivy went down last night. He has developed so well this season. Sorry to see that. He didn't just go down. They took him out on a stretcher, and it looked like they had to hold his neck. So that's the crazy thing. I hope he's not really, really seriously hurt, where it's like a neck injury of some sort, because they put him in traction like he had a back, a spinal, or neck injury on a stretcher. That's not the good way to leave the court. No, it's not. Kaz saying, W Lex, W Raptor Free Crew, W Raps. Have a good rest of your day. Let's go. I'm with you, Kaz, on that. Seymour saying, wishing all Raptor Freaks a healthy, wealthy new year. I like that. Carlos saying, happy, healthy, wealthy new year. I'm all about that. Most saying, congratulations on the channel boost. Get my chair next week, January 8th. Hey, that's awesome. I didn't even realize. I'm not paying attention to my subs. If you just recently subscribed to my channel, I appreciate you subscribing. You can talk in our chat because of that. And yeah, if you're a positive Raptors fan, you want to see the Raptors do better and better over time, this is the channel for you. We're not trying to get bogged down in cynicism. We're not trying to be Debbie Downers. We're not trying to talk about all the worst stuff. We're shining light and wishing the best for our Raptors team and hoping that it happens for them in reality. Is best way we can be. Race Mode saying, happy New Year's, Lex and crew. It's great to start the new year with a perfect record. There you go. 1-0, baby, in 2025. Let's go. Milbester saying, cool, Lex. I didn't know you were at Scotiabank Arena last night for the game. Yeah, I was there. Not too far from the end line near the Raptors bench, about 16 rows up. Not too bad. Yeah. Slug DZ saying Ivy has suffered a broken leg. So it was a broken leg. It didn't have anything to do with his upper body, his spinal column. That's good because I saw them getting the thing where they were going to put him in his head where they were holding him, but I guess it was just a stretcher because he couldn't walk. Okay, that's good information, Slug. I appreciate that. Kev's here, co-host of Knicks Nash. He's saying, I'm glad y'all packed up Brooklyn. Good to see Quick back. He's still my guy. Always will be a Knick to me. There you go. We can share great players, Kev. We love OG too, obviously. OG has such a history with our team, and in some ways he didn't get the attention and the accolades that he deserved on our team. The stuff that he's doing for the Knicks is absolutely top-notch defensive stuff, and I'm just glad to see he's finally getting the shine for that. So, yeah, we can share our players from this trade. I know a lot of Knicks fans really love RJ Barrett too, and obviously we love RJ in our hometown with RJ being from Mississauga and Toronto too. So, yeah, much respect to Knicks Nation right now, coming in represented by Kevin Milbester and enjoying us beating the Nets last night. In some ways, I know how you feel about that because it's kind of fun, and especially when it's somebody from your history and your past. Manuel Quickly succeeding and doing well after his Knicks career with you guys and coming to Toronto and doing really well so far. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's possible with the potential of Emmanuel Quickly. His ceiling is unknown, and we could see him become something really, really amazing over time. Kev, salute to you, man. And thanks for coming to check out the Raptor Freak this morning. Yeah. Milbester saying, I saw Jaden Ivey had collided with another player. I forgot who. Crazy. And like and subscribe. Thank you, Fiercey. I'll tell you this, Lex. Madison Square Garden is expensive to watch. Knicks games always has been. Raptors games slightly better, but all NBA arenas expensive for games. MSG is worse than Scotiabank for buying tickets. That may be true, but I don't know how much worse. I mean, Scotiabank's tickets are way pricey right now for what our team record is. And a lot of people are complaining about that right now. Yeah. And Cool Cat saying Scotiabank has no bad seats, but Madison Square Garden nosebleeds are brutal. I wouldn't know. I've never been to Madison Square Garden. In fact, I've never been to New York City, not even once in my life. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that I've heard that about that. I will say the sight lines in Scotiabank Arena are unparalleled. It's very, very easy to see the game from wherever you're sitting. You're going to get a good seat, and that is something there. But the prices of the tickets are crazy right now up here too, Milbester. I'll just have to say, yeah, we're renovating our arena as we speak right now. In fact, walking through that arena last night, it's crazy. They've taken down Lord Stanley's mug, the bar in the back, and it's completely closed off because they're completely remodeling it in the middle of the season. There's all kinds of areas that are under construction in the Scotiabank Arena right now in different places right now. Yeah, you guys are having renovations, or you had renovations before. Yeah. Yeah, MSG prices are way worse than the Scotiabank Arena. That's probably true. I mean, there is a certain degree of prestige. And you see so many actors, Hollywood people down near the court that it makes sense that it may be very difficult. And there's probably, to get even a ticket in the upstairs is probably very expensive too, even though they're probably not the best seats. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let me get on to the things that we need to do to complete the stream today. We'll start with RJ Barrett's Instagram story showing the chain ceremony last night of Darko giving the chain to Emmanuel Quickly for his excellence in the game and also dropping an F bomb. I love seeing Darko drop an F bomb. But yeah, I love seeing the ill RJ Barrett, who wasn't even involved, wasn't out there sitting on the bench because he's sick, celebrating his team and their victory last night. And as they said, when they get RJ back too, that's just going to add to more fantastic things for Scotty and Emmanuel and him getting some of the attention on him and allowing better scoring potential for people like Grady and Scotty and stuff like that. Slim Duck showing off his crazy three-pointer last night. He just lofted it over the net. And he made it, and he's just so funny with his mannerisms after that. Jamal Shed showing Bruce Brown saying howdy in his return in the Boston game. Kind of cool to see Bruce Brown in the game there. Also celebrating the Texas Longhorns winning their college football playoff game yesterday in the quarterfinals against Arizona State. That was a very big victory and a comeback that I witnessed while I was sitting at Real Sports last night before the game. And Shed is a big-time Texas Longhorns fan. He's very, very happy about that. Let's see. He's showing the highlight of Scotty playing this one shot that he made in the corner when he went up over Claxton. It's just such a beautiful shot. And as I was saying, Scotty's just got great picture-perfect shooting where it just goes right through the net. And everybody, yeah, and there's this little dance in front of the Nets bench, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Scotty, they said he couldn't shoot when he was drafted. Well, he can shoot now. That's for damn sure. He can shoot now. And there's Jamal with some little girl. She's got a doll. It's so cute. The beautiful doll. There you go. There's Wubbs reposting the chain ceremony for Quickly last night on Open Gym. I love that all the Raptors are showing the same clip on their Instagram. There's Scotty posting it on his Instagram. And also he's got his little dance clip too. The one where Manuel threw it over his head. Oh, like that's the lob clip actually that he put on there. He didn't put his little dance clip on there. He put the lob clip. And then Jay Nathan with the chain ceremony on his Instagram. Jonathan Mobo showing the Open Gym moment. And there's Scotty putting it up, the dunk. He's really proud of his best friend. And the stuff is like real, what is he saying? Real tunes? Real tunes, man. Real tunes. Jameson Battle's got the picture from TikTok of Scotty, Grady, and Emmanuel doing a TikTok dance and with the win victory. That's the right one to do this for the celebration. I like this. But don't say you just lost the Raptors because that don't mean nothing. Just show the three of them doing their TikTok dance. This guy's so good at doing a freeze and just staying freezed out. Emmanuel's putting Scotty on blast today. He's got good fodder now for saying he should be an all-star from a 33-point game on 14 to 18 shooting last night. Vote Scotty for all-star. That's right. Y'all do it too. Seriously. Voting is open for the NBA All-Star and the G League stuff. So get in there and vote for our guys. And let's get Scotty to the All-Star game for his second year in a row. That's what I'm saying right there. There's the Emmanuel flip pass on his Instagram. Yeah, 5. And that beautiful pass. I'm telling you, it was like game blouses. Grady celebrating his 1,000 points as a Raptor in his NBA career. 1,000 points for Grady as of last night. Fantastic. The Raptor banging the drum at the game on his Instagram. Raptor was just on point last night. He showed his blooper reel last night for a little while. Always hilarious to see the Raptor and his goofy stuff. He had a crazy thing he was shooting with his New Year's celebrations and Strizzy. Yeah, he's goofy, man. He kept shooting it too. And Strizzy's like, all right, stop, Raptor, stop now. And then he was going to high five Strizzy, but he left him hanging. That was so wrong for you to do to Mark Strizzy. Come on now. And there's Jack, so happy on Matt Devlin's Instagram stories. And there, Davion Mitchell, holy crap. He had the fire jacket that he wore to the game last night. It was half Blue Jays and half Raptors. This custom jacket is amazing. And what a representation right there. Davion Mitchell, where did you get that half Blue Jay, half Raptor jacket in your Instagram stories? It was amazing, man. I love that, man. Yeah, and Davion's celebrating his year from last year in his Instagram stories also. Is that it? Am I going to go through any more? Let me see. Norman Powell with more Understand the Grind stuff. Go check out his channel. I'm telling you, seriously, on his Instagram. And Siakam saying goodbye to 2024 on his Instagram, and with a lot of pictures, a picture collage, the auteur that is our guy, Spicy P, that we love still, that's on the Indiana Pacers at this point. So there's your Instagram stories real quick. Lots of the Raptors posting the open gym moment of Emmanuel getting the chain in the locker room last night. That's right. There you go. That's right. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Let's see. I got to do a classic card on Instagram real quick. Do the Instagram. We'll do a classic card now. Let's see. Yeah, there's Trevor saying the Instagram. Okay. Pre-guest Spud Webb. Spud Webb. What? Spud Webb. All right, guys. So the classic card isn't so classic anymore right now because we're doing cards from Christmas that my niece and nephew gave me as the classic cards right now. So be ready. First person to write the full name answer of this player on this card will get the classic card points for today. So be ready. Who is this, guys? Can you guys tell who this player is? This is not a very classic card. This is actually a card from last year, and it's a rookie card. If you can see in the corner there, it has an RC. So that should give it away to you guys. That should give it away to you guys. There you go. Fiercey's got it. It is the great rookie for Golden State, Brandon Podziemski. Now, this is the thing. Some people speculated that Golden State may be interested in trading for somebody like Jakob or Chris Boucher. Then this guy has been talked about as coming back to the Raptors, which would be very interesting in that reality of that world, because this guy's kind of like a really good shooter and scorer. So Podziemski is the classic card of the day, and Fiercey's on it for today to get it. Let's put this in. I don't know if I'll spell his whole name out because we know his name is very difficult. I'll just put Brandon Pods, and we'll put Fiercey, and she's going to get 100 points for this one. All right, good stuff. Fiercey Salsera getting another classic card, another 100 points to her Raptor Freak trivia score. Yeah. Yeah, Smooth saying that jacket, Davion Mitchell, was true fire, man. Totally, Reggie, wasn't it? I want it. I want that, man. Nameless is saying, listen, Lex, we cover all aspects of the game on this channel, goddammit. Even a speculation as to why IQ may have finally played. Well, he finally played because they cleared him and then let him play. I don't want to read into it any further. No, let's not get it twisted. Once again, Nameless, this channel is for the Raptors, and anything that benefits the Raptors, I will be doing it on this channel. And if it doesn't, if it's kind of like this is just kind of like uncertainty or you're just kind of stirring the pot, I'm not going to embrace it. And that's kind of what you're doing with this today. That's what I want you to understand. I do talk about all Raptors things. In some ways, you can bring me this kind of stuff, but don't get it twisted. This may end up like what happened to the Nets with Scotty blocking the hell out of it. And I was just say, yeah, your theory is interesting, but I'm going to deny it. Just like Mutombo would say, no, no, no. And I mean, you can bring this stuff. It's fine. But once again, I'm a spin machine. I'm not necessarily totally in reality. I'll admit it. I'm not necessarily somebody who's going to be like pointing out all the lumps and warts about the Raptors, because in some ways there's enough people out there doing this in their content that, you know what, we want an oasis, a safe haven, a place for Raptors fans to just be Raptors fans and cheer for the team and feel good about it. And that's why I'm not going along with you on this stuff. We can talk about it all, but in some ways, don't get upset when I block it like Scotty blocked some of the Nets last night. That's all. That's all. That's just how it is right there, man. How tall is Brandon? On the back here, it says, oh, man, I wish I had my glasses. It says that he's 6'4". I believe it says 6'4" is what it says on here. 6'4". Yeah, it says that. He's about the same height as me. Yeah, Nameless saying, how else do you think we became the most informative gang? Well, when Randolph says that, he's really talking about how I'm every day and I am very, very exhaustive of covering everything that has to do with the Raptors. whether it's their Instagram stories or just little weird things. You can find out things about the Raptors you had no idea was going on from watching this channel. And that's why he says the most informative gang. You know, you can watch Locked On Raptors with Sean Woodley. You could watch the kid out there, Raptors Digest. You could watch Luca Rosano. You could watch the King to the point. You could watch Hugh Shall Not Be Named, but they're not going to give you the most informative stuff about the Raptors every single day, covering every single thing like you do on the Raptor Street channel. And that's why Randolph Phillips does that tagline, because he truly believes that. And that's part of the reason why he watches my channel every day, is because he knows he's going to get the finer little details and some of the innocuous, silly details that some content creators will not even cover. And that's it right there, baby. That's it right there. It has nothing to do with being negative. It has nothing to do with over speculating why IQ came back last night. No, the timing was the right time. This is when they want to do it. And I have no questions asked about that. I'm just happy he's back. And that's what matters right there. That's right. Seymour saying, good job to Eye Candy on getting the classic card of the day. And Blackhawk saying, no way Golden State's letting go of Brandon. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You might be right. You're probably right. In some ways, he's kind of like the heir apparent after Steph Curry for that team, I guess. Yeah. Yes, we're saying vintage Blue Jays and vintage Raptors. I don't know where you get that. Like, where did that come from? Who made that jacket? Is that jacket like somebody cut two jackets in half and put them together? I mean, I don't know where they got this jacket. It's amazing that Davion was wearing last night. So good. So good. Yeah. And Fiercely saying thank you. And we are the most informative, and I would add positive, gang. We're trying. I mean, in some ways, I've had to, had some changes this year with different people. And in some ways, some of the people that have gone have been some of the negative people. And I'm very happy that we're in a good state, a place with mostly very positive people on this channel, because that's really what I want. In some ways, I could waste my time talking on this channel about negative stuff all the time, but what's the point? Let's live our lives happy. And let's talk about the glorious, amazing things. I can take a bad loss like the Boston game the other day and cover it on the channel in a very cautious and comforting way, with not getting all the sharp edges and jabbing ourselves in the back like, we suck, Boston, they beat us so bad. No, I'm not going to do that. So there is a very stylish way that I'm doing this channel. And that's why I tell people I'm not a press person. I am trained in media. I've done radio media. I've done call-in sports shows. I've written articles for sports newspapers. I have all that training, but I'm a fan. I am a fan, and I do this channel as a fan. I have the training and the expertise to do things professionally, but I choose to do this as a positive fan that's doing this for spin for the team. And that's the thing. This world's full of spin in all kinds of other places, in all kinds of ways. And somebody needed to spin things in the right way for the Raptors, at least in content creating online. And that's why I did this. That's why I made this channel. I don't want anybody to think, oh, Lex is so out of touch with reality. He's just so positive about the Raptors all the time. Yeah, because that's a choice. And in some ways, you could choose to be like that too. Some people say you're crazy. You're out of the loop. You're not in touch with reality. Well, maybe I want to perceive a reality that I want to make into a reality. And maybe that's how you make it, is believing in it and making space for it to actually be. And then all of a sudden, boom, it happens. And that's just my basic philosophies for why I do the Raptor Freak channel like this. And that's it right there. Is because if it's not helping Masai and Darko with their job, I don't want to talk about it here. In some ways, I do talk about stuff when I have to, begrudgingly, but for the most part, I'm trying to support them and help them and give them the chance to succeed in a toxic fan nation that just is crazy and overreacts in such crazy ways. That is the main reason why I do this channel. Right there. And it's not to make conspiracy theories about why Emmanuel quickly came back from injury just yesterday. It's fantastic he came back. They flip the calendar and say, hey, Emmanuel, we want to play? He's going to play. He feels good. He's out there. Boom goes the dynamite. All right. Thank you for watching the Raptor Freak channel today. I'll be back tomorrow to set y'all up for the Orlando game on Friday night at Scotiabank Arena with the latest lineup news. There are injuries for the Orlando Magic. We'll go over them, and we'll have the referee crew. And I can tell you the odds on how the refs are for the two teams in the history of their refereeing the two teams. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. I love you. Thank you, Raptors, for getting that big W back for us. Scotty, you're the man. You were the best player on the court at Scotiabank Arena last night. Not Cameron Johnson, not D'Angelo Russell, not any of the other Raptors, although IQ was a very close second. You guys were awesome last night. And thank you, Emmanuel, for being selfless and helping to push Scotty up to new levels of compete and also success. And Scotty, now that you know this, now that you've felt this, do you feel good about what you did last night? Because I'd like to see you duplicate it on many occasions for the rest of this 82 game schedule for the Raptors in the NBA. Because I believe in you. And I think that on a lot of nights, you could be the number one NBA superstar in any given Toronto Raptors game for the rest of the season out of both teams. And that means taking it to people like Tatum and Brown, like on New Year's Eve, but beating them and being the high scorer and being the person that outcompetes the other side and leads your team to the W. That's what you have to do now. It's not about making everybody else better around you. You're going to do that anyway. It's about you being selfish and taking the shot yourself and carrying this team to victory because you can, because you're that good. And that's what I want to see, Scotty. That's what I want to see next, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I got 2K at 225 and it's downloading. Let's go. Raptor Stream. And W Stream, let's fucking go, Nameless. All right, I'm going to give you a dunk, Nameless, because that's what we do it, man. It's like we can disagree. We can talk about different things. And Lex has just got to be Lex. My paisano, my Italian teacher, you got a three-pointer. Your first three for the season. And I'm going to get the top dunkers from last year ranked and listed at some point very soon. I have to tabulate it and show the final results from the dunk competition in 2024. Of course, we know Kareem Thomas was the dunk champion with over 500 dunks last season. But yeah, we're going to find that out, and I'll post it in the chat sometime in the comments on one of these streams in the near future. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow 9:30 around then, maybe a little earlier. So look out for me tomorrow morning around 9:20. All right, let's go, Raptors. Enjoy your Thursday. Soak up the W's, man. Seriously, and enjoy this vibe because some ways we haven't had it enough this year, and we deserve it. We needed more of this. That's right. Peace out. Good to see you, Neil. Good to see you, Blackhawk. Everybody, let's go, Raptors, and get more W's in 2025. That's what we're doing this year. That's right.